Hello everybody, welcome to StraightA, Dawson here with the third edition of NFL Imperialism. Once again, finally, had a lot of troubles with the emulator, but we're back at it, and we're back with NFL Imperialism once again. If you haven't seen the other two already, go check those out. If not, then on screen now will be all the rules of NFL Imperialism. If you're not familiar with it, you can read it if you want to, or you can just get a vibe check, because now, you know, that's kind of the deal with this. You just kind of get a vibe of how it all works and just go with the flow of everything. Go back on memory lane and join me in visiting 2005 Madden, of course. On screen will be all the rosters. I'll quickly kind of go through them, highlighting some of the 99 Club stuff and showing you roughly what the rosters kind of look like. Champ Bailey, the first member of the 99 Club here today, of course. But this is the year, of course, or the time frame of the Eagles-Patriots Super Bowl. We got Mike Vanderjagt as another 99 kicker, or was it punter? Kicker. So this is back when the Patriots won the Super Bowl over the Eagles. Eagles really stacked roster, by the way. But again, if you're familiar with the early Maddens, they kind of gradually changed the rosters rather than like drastic changes. So, you know, a lot of these teams are going to stay in the same time frame and kind of slowly phase out or phase into what they are. We got Jonathan Ogden and Ray Lewis as 299s as well. So we got 499s so far. We've seen, of course, a lot of these rosters very like the Houston Texans kind of developing into their own third year existing here for them, and same with the Jags as well. So a lot of these kind of rosters are kind of going into their own deal here, as you see 499 clubs here on screen. But this is the roster of NFL Imperialism for Madden 2005. As for the settings, the same deal as always. 8-minute quarters, skill level all Madden, coach mode's off because I'm not playing, injuries on, pre-existing off, game fatigue on, Madden challenge on, I don't know what that does, random weather off, and accelerated clock is off too. So those are some of the kind of the changes here. As you see, here's the subs and all that. If you want to see those, I leave them all default. Penalties all the same here too. AI and human skill level pretty much all the same here. Whoop, boop, boop. See, yep, all the same for all of them, so I'm not doing anything. No easy play. If I do play, it's on all Madden anyway, so it's not really doing anybody any good. Continue without saving. I don't think I really did anything there, to be honest with you. Either way, enough with those settings here. On screen, you'll see this is the map. This is the original NFL Imperialism map. A couple changes, really. I don't think there's really even notable logo changes that I can really make too big of a note of. Bengals kind of changed, so it's more transparent in this one, but it's just supposed to be more white. For some reason, when I do the remove background, it just gets rid of all the white, whatever. Other than that, really no other big logo changes, I believe. So we'll kind of just get underway, but map as usual. You see the map, you see the thing, but we're going to get this straight underway. We got the settings done. We got everything done. Time to jump right into the wheel, because we have a wheel and a time to spin here for all these teams, shuffling them all up so we know who's facing off, when and where. Who's the first team we're seeing in Madden 2005 Imperialism? And that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. And just to check real quick, they can face either the Falcons or expand pop maybe, or face the Buccaneers. So we could have an immediate matchup here today. But we gotta find the directional wheel, which is on screen right now. You'll see who are they gonna go. Where are they gonna go? Oh, as you can see, the very first spin is the Jacksonville Jaguars heading straight down to face off against Tampa Bay. Fun fact, the Jaguars have faced off against both Miami and Tampa Bay before, and they have lost both matchups, so hopefully this is a redemption arc for them. Revenge Jacksonville might just have, because they get the ball at the 2-minute warning in the fourth quarter here against Tampa Bay. 26-21 is the current score. Jacksonville will have a drive, and I think plenty of timeouts for them to potentially get a touchdown, which could win them the game if they are able to kill out the clock just long enough. They get the ball around the 32-yard line on their own territory. Jacksonville's looking for a big showing here today. The last two NFL Imperialisms, they have not showed out too well. Here against Tampa Bay, they're looking to claim Florida, and this would be a very big opportunity for them, as they're kind of milking out the clock. 1st and 10, about midfield now, but they have to get into the end zone. A field goal and do no good, so they have to take every opportunity they can to get it right here, right now. Side note, by the way, really love the look of this game. It's really bright. It's really nice. It's got a nice little layout, as you see the top left corner from the scoreboard. It also gives like third down conversion rates, fourth down conversion rates after the drive. It tells you the time of possession and stuff like that. Look at that, third down conversion. They're 4 for 13, so hopefully they get it here though. 5 for 14. He catches it. Oh my gosh, he catches it. They're now in the Buccaneers territory. Minute and a half left. They are currently. Oh, but he throws an interception to end his drive. And I'm pretty sure they might be able to milk out one more drive with the timeouts they have remaining. All the Buccaneers have to do pretty much though is get one first down, and it's over. And that was a really good gain for them to really actually get the opportunity there. I think it's now like 2nd and 3, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. Okay, so they still have a little bit more to go, but that was a very efficient run for the first one. All they need is 2 more very efficient ones. Game is over. That timeout will pretty much solidify the end of the game here. We'll still play it out, let them see it, but as far as I'm concerned, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just sent Jacksonville home for the 2nd time, and they just nailed the ball out, making the final score 26-21. Tampa Bay Buccaneers will welcome Marcus Stroud to the team, increasing their defensive line just a little bit more, with about a 12-point upgrade to the defensive tackle previously from Darby. And also the tight end and the center got a 5-point upgrade from 78 to an 83, both respectively. So the Buccaneers kind of avoiding that early knockout that they're used to, and the Jaguars, unfortunately, are also quite used to it, with those two teams being some of the earliest or some of the worst placed teams on average for the current NFL Imperialism schedules. As you see here, the Buccaneers have taken over Jaguars territory as per the rules. The Jaguars are the first team eliminated in this little matchup, but we need another team here. We have to get another one. We have to eliminate the Jacksonville Jaguars after their failed attack there, and we'll find another team to now go and take their turn. The Kansas City Chiefs will be up next, and they're going to spin the wheel here to see what they will do. Will they expand? Will they attack? They're going pretty much dead west. Should be a nice little expansion for them right to the west of it, of course. Kansas City is actually taking over Kansas. And as you see on screen, Kansas City did indeed take over the territory pretty nice and easy. Meanwhile, they got, of course, a +5 upgrade to 3 of their lowest starters. D-tackle went from a 79 to an 84. The wide receiver went from an 81 to an 86. And their punter went from a 72 to a 77. By the way, I really love the layout of this game. It's nice and slick, and it's very modern. By the way, also, these overalls for a lot of these players are already very high. Like, even some of the worst teams with some of their lower-end players are still at least in the 70s. Not really many in the 60s at all, besides, backups, of course. So, a little bit of a change-up here for this kind of Madden. Either way, though, Kansas City had their turn. They got their expansion. They improved their team a little bit overall. Time to see who's next. And then Chicago Bears. We don't see much from the Chicago Bears, so good to see a little bit of a different kind of change of pace here for this game. A little bit more of a Northwest kind of attitude for the Bears. Looks like they're just expanding, though. The Bears now control Iowa, and actually, little fun fact for the Chicago Bears here in NFL Imperialism, they have never actually, invaded another territory, or they never expanded into another territory, even successfully. So, little fun fact there. But of course, they do have to improve their team a little bit. Not the free safety. I don't know why I was on them too much, but they did increase their right outside linebacker from a 69 to a 74. Their left outside linebacker from a 78 to an 83, and I believe their left tackle. There you go, from a 74 to a 79. So the Bears, again, a little bit of the lower thing. I love lower side of things of the overall. I love how I said that most players are still not really, in the low, in the 60s. And all of a sudden we get the Bears who have a 69 overall starter. But beside the point, that doesn't matter, because what does matter? The wheel. The wheel matters because we still have 31 teams looking to scrap a little bit. Are we going to see a matchup? We're going to see more expansions. Who's really preparing? And the Cleveland Browns, they are surrounded by teams. Pretty sure there's almost no expansion options for them, but maybe a little bit, west, but a little bit to the north side of things. Who are they planning on facing off? It looks like they're going to be facing off against the Indianapolis Colts. I'll kind of confirm that here in a second. The last time the Browns faced off against the Colts invaded the Browns' territory and beat them pretty handily, about 47-24. This time the turns have tabled as the Browns invade the Colts this time. Pretty ballsy move considering the overall difference here. The Colts are one of the best teams in this game, while the Browns are one of the worst. So what kind of result can happen here? We've seen crazier upsets, I'm sure. Well, the Browns kept it closer than many people would expect, but it looks like the end is nigh for the Browns here after an onside kick failed recovery. Whoa, it wasn't a failed recovery. Hold the horses. Browns actually recovered the ball. I was expecting to go on here in a whole tangent saying, the Browns, they had a very valiant fight against the Colts. Now they're almost in field goal range, but they fumbled the ball, and now the Colts take it in for a touchdown. Man, that's a roller coaster of emotions. I'm glad I started recording exactly when I did, because I was about to say, Cleveland did get a score and were able to kind of, go into it and do, fumbles being challenged. No, it's definitely a fumble. I don't know why that's a challenge. Either way, about to go on this whole rant like, the Browns barely skated by, because onside kicks never get recovered. And I did not know, especially in these older games, I did not expect them to get recovered. So, good for the Browns. For having a low overall, they did something pretty dang cool against a really good team. And even though the Colts are ended up winning this game, it is very valiant. Wait, no, it didn't get fumbled? I'm so confused. I'm going to keep this all in because now I'm just confused. I think Indianapolis is going to get screwed out of a win here, to be honest with you. Look at this. I got to make, yeah, it's all sped up. Oh my gosh. So it wasn't considered a fumble. And even though the Colts recovered it. The Colts do seem like they'll have a chance to respond here, but they're going to use up all their timeouts. Actually, I don't think they will. Because if they have 51 seconds on the clock. So, yeah, but okay, but the Browns are forced to use a timeout, which saves the Indianapolis Colts there. This is just a roller coaster. I don't know what's happened. I'll be honest with you, no clue. But I like it. I like seeing fun things happen, especially when a bad team is like doing really good. So I'm going to take what I can get here. Now we're going to make sure Cleveland hits the field goal and it'll make it 17-16. But then the Colts have 47 seconds, no timeouts to. Oh! For some reason that the kick did not look like it was going to go far. This game is weird. It's not as arcadey. It's very gritty. I don't know. This is very exact opposite of NFL Madden 2004, which was very arcadey. The first one, the Madden 2003 that we did, was more in the middle ground. This one, don't know. Either way, Colts recover the ball. 39 seconds remaining. They have to get within field goal range and be able to either spike it or get out of bounds. They're at the 36-yard line, it looks like, so pretty decent field position, but they have a lot of ground to make. But this offense is high-powered against a weaker defense than the Cleveland Browns. But both teams have been struggling this game, and Peyton Manning makes this look easy. Made that look easy. We have gone through about a minute and a half. Minute 14 was on the clock, I believe, of just a roller coaster of emotions of, oh, Browns lost. Oh, the Browns actually recovered. Oh, the Browns are actually going to get a field goal. Oh, the Browns are actually going to win. Oh, no, the Colts just actually are pretty good. Who would have thought? 31 seconds left on the clock, and now Cleveland gets a chance to respond. They require a touchdown to actually win the game. Field goal does them no good. Of course, Colts went for a 2-point conversion and failed because it would put them in 7-point range, so it could go to overtime instead. But, man, this has just been something else. Balls bouncing everywhere. Delete in case anybody's going to try to copy that and make me say it later. Whatever. Either way, the Browns have 28 seconds. 2 of their timeouts, I believe. So they have a little bit of time on their side in that regard. So they can kind of get a couple good plays, use a couple timeouts, and go for it because they don't require a field goal. So they don't need to set up a field goal and use a timeout type deal. They're just going for the end zone. Like I said, the overall difference is staggering, especially against the Browns here. But they could pull off a miracle. They just pulled off a miracle. The onside kick recovery. Can they pull off 2 in one game, especially in one quarter and back-to-back drives? That would be absolutely insane. Let's see. Does make it pass. Does have to use their last timeout. They're not really at the midfield mark just yet, really. They still have to convert third down, but really that doesn't really matter because they really just need to get the field goal or get the touchdown, I should say. They're on 4th down. They have to at least convert this to maybe give themselves 1-2 more plays after this. But let's see how they play this. They have to get out of bounds or something along the lines of that because no one has any timeouts remaining. It's coming to the skin of teeth, but instead a sack just makes a turnover on plays. The Colts barely, they made it harder on themselves, did win the game. 22-17 will be the final score. Unfortunately, with that, the Browns' dream has concluded here by the Colts winning this matchup and taking over a little bit of their territory there, as well as now stealing Dalen McCutcheon to upgrade their secondary just a little bit. And the Colts also got an upgrade to fullback. It's from a 68 to a 73, and to left outside linebacker, I believe, from a 73 to a 78. So that's kind of the improvements made to the Colts line here. Pretty decent improvements and a really close win for them that they honestly should be a little bit nervous about if that's how they're going to prepare for those kind of opponents. Beside the point, now the Browns are gone, we have to get back to the wheel and find out how round 3 is going to start, who is going to expand, who's going to attack, or what. Dallas Cowboys looks like they want to get a piece of the action here. They have a couple options here. They can expand a little bit more northern, or they can kind of go take on somebody in the more eastern side of things. But it looks like they're going more west, a little bit to the north side of things, and it looks like it's going to be just easy expansion. And pretty simply, the Cowboys take over New Mexico here. First time, actually, that Arizona has not claimed New Mexico in one of these, being the first one to claim it. Of course, if you beat Arizona, you take over. Beside the point, Cowboys expanding New Mexico. Moving on to the people they upgraded. They upgraded their leading halfback from a 74 to a 79, their leading punter from a 66 to a 71, and their right tackle from a 75 to an 80. Right tackle and corner was tied, so the O-line looked like it needed a little bit of work, so I just went with a right tackle there. Also, just for transparency here, the Colts one I actually messed up a little bit. I had to go back and change some attributes. The same players got upgraded, but I accidentally upgraded the wrong player. Had to go back, so the attributes are not exactly the same, but but the overall is just a little bit of transparency on my part. But beside the point, here's some more transparency for actually seeing the next team who's going to be up on the market. By the way, this music's super loud. The audio for the simulator for this game is like super broken, so it's like blasting my ear. So it's like, ugh. But we have the Indianapolis Colts. We get to see a second appearance from them all. They're going to have probably another matchup here, going pretty much dead north here. They can see who they're going to face off, and that's a pretty easy call. They are facing off against the Detroit Lions. And just like before, the Colts do have a significant advantage in this matchup, especially offensively. The defenses match up decently well, but the Colts here have almost squandered away one win from a team that was supposed to be easier to beat. Will they also be the same case for the Lions? Who knows? But hopefully, by the way, this music is not very loud for y'all because it's blasting in my ear, but I think I lowered it down enough for y'all not have to worry about it. Besides that, though, like the soundtrack for this. It's probably about the middle ground. I don't know. I'll eventually rank these soundtracks. But either way, we have a game. No onside kick is needed for this drive because Detroit will get a fair shot, about 2 timeouts, I believe, for about minute 50 to go down the field and score a touchdown against the Indianapolis defense. This is a possible upset. The Colts are just not doing well so far in NFL Imperialism. They are really giving up these games. They're just making them sweat more and more. I thought Peyton Manning was the clutch guy, but really, I guess it's just clutch when he's about to lose to bad teams. I don't know. Either way, Detroit has a real shot at winning this game right here, right now. 2nd and 10, but they are inside their own 10. So it's going to be kind of difficult, especially if they keep on throwing passes like that. The Lions are really going to let this slip away from them. This is a prime opportunity to really take advantage of this and really put their team to the next level. Detroit at this point wasn't that bad, but then they threw an interception. Well, I say they're not that bad, and they do that. Well, go figure. Pretty sure at this point, Colts just definitely need a first down, so we'll wait for that. But, man, Detroit let this go away from them. Peyton Manning gets bailed out of yet another possible upset. So this is just an unfortunate turn of events here for the Detroit Lions, of course. So, but it looks like the Colts, one more first down, probably one more run will do it in, and I don't know if they'll kick a field goal. Maybe just really rub it in. But they do give a first down, kills the rest of Detroit's timeouts, meaning the final score for this game will be 19-13 in favor of the Indianapolis Colts, even though I love Peyton Manning. So I guess that's a pretty good thing. And the Colts pick up some more territory as the Lions fall as our 3rd team here in NFL Madden 2005 Imperialism. And they also get some nice little upgrades. Dre Bly joins the crew at secondary, actually pretty much getting rid of their starting secondary of Nick Harper and Joseph Jefferson and replacing them with Dalen McCutcheon from the Browns and then Dre Bly from the Lions. Interestingly enough, the fullback also gets a upgrade from a 73 to a 78, and their left outside linebacker, I believe, whoops, not that way. Their left outside linebacker gets an upgrade from a 78 to an 83. So nice little upgrades to both those players once again, as well as an upgrade to their corners. I guess it takes 2 teams to beat them, or takes 2 turns like that to improve those players just well enough above the starters. Either way, though, now that the Lions have fallen, we have to find yet another team. Actually, the first attacking team has actually succeeded for the first time here in Madden 2005 so far. So we got to eliminate the Lions wherever they are. Got to find them. Goodbye to the Lions here, and we spin once again for our 4th round here today. Next up are going to be the Dallas Cowboys once again. So once we really see a team, they really just like appearing, is what we're learning here at NFL Imperialism. They go a little bit more northwest here today, and they will be, looks like it's going to hit the Cardinals. And the Cowboys certainly did land on the Cardinals here, as they have a pretty good matchup here in favor of the Cowboys with a way better defense on paper, but on a slightly worse offense. So we'll see if defense can carry championships. Well, the Arizona Cardinals were leading for a little bit, kept in the game for a while, but then Dallas's defense and then the offense finally got rolling. So it seems like the Dallas Cowboys finally picked up some steam and maybe actually got their nuts together to actually pull off a win to 22-9 being the final score. Dallas is still a fairly balanced team, so they only picked up another corner in Dwayne Starks from going upgrade from a 75 to an 85 from the Cardinals. Looks like all the best players from these lower end teams are all corners, weirdly enough, or at least the best starters, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. Either way, their halfback also got upgraded once again from a 79 to an 84, and their punter from a 71 to a 76. So 2 of the same upgrades for the Cowboys once again, but doesn't really matter too much. And the Cowboys pick up a lot more territory. They are controlling more of the southwest coast of this little area right outside of California and a lot of Texas here, or at least half of Texas, I should say. Either way, we now have to spin once again. Now, the Arizona Cardinals are now gone. I have to find them and eliminate them, of course, as well. Boom, bada, bing. We now spin the wheel to find out who our next team here is. Who will be next? Washington Redskins. I'm okay with the Washington Redskins. Where will they go? If they go straight north or something, they'll be facing the Ravens. They can go and expand somewhere else. Look at that, northeast-ish, it looks like. So it looks like it's going to be pretty much Washington Redskins going to face off against Baltimore Ravens. We're having a ton of matches early on, which I like. Even with the overall advantage in this game, it looks like the Ravens could not pull off the victory, and the Redskins absolutely demolished them by 31 extra points. 37-6 is the final score for the Redskins at Baltimore, and this ties up their series. Now they're both 1-1, and the Redskins are moving on. Redskins had a lot to choose from, but in the end, they picked up 96 overall Todd Heap for a whopping 25 overall upgrade. Even though the Ravens had 299 overall players and tons in the 90s, ended up being the tight end position the Redskins needed the most. And if you really look at both these teams, the Ravens really had a high upside, but the Redskins have a decent floor as well. They don't have a whole lot of very big overall players, but now with Todd Heap adding to the roster, it might just help fix that. Either way, though, as you see, Redskins have taken over the territory of the Ravens, and now we must move on to our next team, who must divide and conquer possibly. But now we have to get rid of the Ravens here. Goodbye, Baltimore. And we're moving on to the next team. Who is next? I love this stuff. New York Giants or Denver Broncos? It looks like it's going to be the New York Giants who went out on this one. So New York Giants, we're spinning the wheel here, see what direction they do go in. Pretty much east, but more on the north side of east. And, ooh, it's going to be very close between the Patriots and expansion. It's a close call, but it's still pretty dang clear that the Giants have decided to pick a fight with the sleeping giant that is the Patriots, who, as you will see on screen, have one of the best rosters in this game with a 99 overall team, mostly carried by their defense, but their offense is still not too shabby, while the Giants are sporting up barely a 70 overall. Biggest differential in overalls that we've seen such far, and the Patriots are a clear favorite for Madden 2005. Well, this is a last-ditch effort for the Patriots because I think they're about to kick an onside kick, which we have seen recovered before, which is why I started recording now. No, they're not going to kick an onside kick. They're actually going to do the smart thing. Oh my gosh. I'm glad I started recording this because they actually did the smart thing and actually try to rely on their really good defense to stop in 3 plays so they have enough time to go down and score a touchdown or something along the lines of that. We have a game. If the Giants get a first down here, it's pretty much over, but they're only gaining very small yardage, and New England's starting to use their timeouts like a proper team. Oh my gosh, in every other game before this, it's like pulling teeth because they kick onside kick way too early where they have a small chance. Now, granted, it looks like, did they get the first down there? Is it 3rd and 1? It could be 3rd and 1 or 3rd and inches right there. New England may still be in it. This is the 3rd down. 3rd down conversions. By the way, the 3rd down conversions are so low in this game. It's opposite of Madden 2004 completely. But they're throwing the ball, but it's incomplete. New England has 1 minute and 20 seconds, and they have 1 timeout remaining. So New England has a real shot at doing this. Now, a key point, I think, and we're going to check here in a minute, Tom Brady was injured in this game, and it really halted New England's offense at, very, very early on. So they have their backup in. We'll see if Brady's back in yet, or if it was, or if he's not. No, he's not. He's still not. So they have the backup in. I forgot, it's Holt or something, I think. But either way, New England's trying to make a game-winning drive with a backup. But yeah, as I was saying, Madden 2005 is very defensive based, while Madden 2004 was very offensive based, very arcadey. Well, this one's more simulation, I think, or I don't know if it's simulation or competitive or what it's called. I don't know the different game modes. Either way, New England's on 3rd down, it looks like. I don't know what their 3rd down conversion rate is, but probably not good. 7 out of 16. But they gotta at least convert this to give themselves a little cushion room, just to at least give them a shot at the being able to seal this game. But see, nope, deflected. It is now 4th down. So New England, no matter what, has to convert this. Otherwise, the New York Giants can just kill out the clock. And, of course, New England would love to spare that timeout. But if they have to use it, they have to use it. So what is New England going to do? Can they complete it? Can they complete a pass here? But turnover on downs. Giants stop them. We have an upset. Even in Madden, the Giants can upset the New England Patriots because apparently the Giants have the Patriots number. Even though the Patriots certainly outclassing overall here, the Giants are going to kneel it out and just take home the win. With Kurt Warner at the helm. I forgot Kurt Warner was on the Giants at once upon a time. That's kind of curious. Shrug at that one. It exists. But man, what a Cinderella story. One of the reigning champions of Madden Imperialism, actually the current reigning champion, the Patriots, have been knocked out pretty early on. So the Giants kind of evening up the playing field for a lot of other teams. But the final score will be 16-13. with the Giants doing the upset of the century. Surprisingly enough, the Giants defense is actually pretty well suited too. Most of the players that they could pick up were defensive players from the Patriots, but Giants had a fairly good defense overall as well. Actually, it's a wonder that the Patriots defense is rated 99. They really didn't have, I guess that they didn't have 99 overall players, or anybody. The whole team wasn't really close to it. So, I don't know. It's a weird system how they have the overalls. Either way, Richard Seymour's coming over to the Giants as a right end for him, and also the fullback got upgraded from a 66 to a 71, and some sort of other position, a right tackle from a 72 to a 77. Casually, the Giants are getting, a little bit better and better, but I don't know if overall really matters in this game because, as you see, the Giants took over the territory of the New England Patriots, one of the best teams in this game. So, I'm not too sure. By the way, I don't know if y'all can hear that. Love this song. Beside the point. We'll still got to move on because we still have something to do. We're going to go ahead and spin this prematurely as we're waiting for this team here. And it's going to be the Carolina Panthers. Okay, good. And they're going straight north. Okay, whoops, that's the wrong little button. But they're just going to expand, though, improve their team a little bit. Pretty easy and nice changes for the Carolina Panthers as they expand into Virginia. And they upgrade some good old players. Their tight end goes from a 70 to a 75. Free safety from a 75 to an 80. And, of course, their right guard from a 74 to a 79. So the Panthers are just getting a little bit better. They're trying to make themselves contenders for this matchup because they want to win. Everybody wants to win this, and especially the Panthers here after that expansion. But beside the point, we still need a matchup for this current round to really move on into this Imperialism. And next one, maybe Carolina Panthers again. No, Atlanta Falcons. We haven't seen them just yet, so we're going to spin this wheel for them, see where they want to go. Maybe they want to go a little bit more north, but, kind of in the western area. Respect it. And it looks like, ooh, it's going to be close, but it looks like they're going to be having a matchup with the Tennessee Titans. Well. With my little mechanical system of invention that's totally not just a piece of paper that tells everything very accurately, the Atlanta Falcons just missed the Titans and actually end up clipping Carolina Panthers here. And actually, the Atlanta Falcons are facing off against their divisional opponent in the Carolina Panthers. And again, this is kind of similar to the Giants here. There's a substantial advantage for Carolina here overall wise. Falcons either way taking the fight to the slightly newly improved Carolina Panthers. We're really getting to the thick of it now. Atlanta just tied this up 17-17 after they made the kick return team of the Carolina Panthers fumble, and then one play with a running back go and a running back hit the end zone, making it 17-17. So now the Panthers have some time on the clock. They got about 2 minutes, 48 seconds. Plenty of time. They just got to get within field goal range, milk out the clock and stuff like that. But it's all depending on them getting down range. But instead they throw an interception. What is up with me clicking on the exact time I hit record, and all of a sudden the ball gets turned over? Because now the Atlanta Falcons have a chance to get rid of the Carolina Panthers right here, right now. Maybe just run out the clock. Honestly, I don't even know what they're doing. I don't know why they're throwing the ball. They are within field goal range, especially now. They just got to run the ball, kill out the clock. I guess they are still before a 2-minute warning, but you don't want to waste too much time. I'm about to say you ran it a little bit there, but man, I guess now you're in a little bit of a hard spot, 3rd and 3 or something like that. Almost too uncomfortable to really run for it. 3rd down conversions again, still pretty low, but now they're throwing the ball. 4th down, so Carolina Panthers will have a chance with a 2-minute warning to respond to the Atlanta Falcons kick team here, or 3-pointer, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Either way, kick is good. It's 2017 right now, and then the Carolina Panthers get a kick return on the time as well. So this is turning into a tense little divisional matchup here between these two teams. And again, Carolina has to keep from throwing those interceptions right there for them. So, big hit though, no fumble. So inside their own 20 though, they have to march pretty far down. Got basically their 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning, so they can get a play off here and then have the time stop. So they can get a good play going. Pretty all right play, but that was about 7-yard gain there. So 2-minute warning helps stop the clock there and make it a little bit more comfortable for them. They have to get at least within field goal range, and they can take it to overtime. Be the 3rd overtime I think we've seen. I think we've seen one in each game so far. And then, nice little gain right there too. Milk out the clock a little bit. Of course, as you see, there's no accelerated clock, so they're kind of just taking it as they will. They're now at the pretty much the 50-yard line here. Carolina methodically moving down, making small complete passes and killing out the clock. It's not the worst idea in the world, because worst case you give Atlanta no time to actually respond in any way, especially if you get a touchdown. Field goal is fine because it keeps you in the game, but if you get a touchdown and give it back to the Falcons with no time left, what's Michael Vick and the rest of the Falcons team really gonna do? Either way, they're now within the red zone. They are now at the 17-yard line. They have a little bit more to go. Go shooting for the end zone. They get a touchdown, but they give Atlanta about a minute. That's a decent amount of time. They can march down the field with that. Either way, Carolina with an extra point right here, successful extra point, will make this a 4-point game, meaning Atlanta has no choice but to score a touchdown to win the game, not to actually tie the game. They have no way to tie this game at this current moment. So we'll see what Atlanta can do here on this kickoff. Minute and 7 seconds left, and Michael Vick will have to get the ball and do something with it, whether it's scrambling or whatever. But we'll see what they can do here. Decent return, though, about 24-yard line, whatever. So Atlanta now has control of the ball. Let's see their strategy going into this. They're lining up, and we'll see what kind of passes they get going. Nice little scramble there. Nice deep pass that gets them right to midfield, pretty much at the 50-yard line already. One play is all it took. Michael Vick is being prime Patrick Mahomes right now. Granted, I could just say prime Michael Vick because Michael Vick in his prime is pretty damn good. So then again, prime Michael Vick would be more of a scrambling master more than whatever. Now I'm just babbling. Anyway, 46 seconds left. Nice little pass. Didn't get out of bounds, so Atlanta does use a timeout there. Carolina didn't actually use any timeouts their last drive, so they still have all 3 of their timeouts as well. So this could be a nice little close game, but instead, Michael Vick with the nice 40-yard touchdown pass. I like that too. It gives you like the amount of yards it was too, so that's pretty appropriate. But that was within like 30 seconds. Man, these teams are, when they're put down to the moment, they are making use of the time. So now Carolina has 37 seconds to respond. This is just back and forth right here. This is a lot of, keeping everybody on edge right now. But 27-24, Carolina has the same options as their drive before. They can either kick a field goal to take themselves into overtime or, make a touchdown pass. And, got a flag there on the play. What's the flag? Don't know. Boom. I don't know what that means, but sure. All right, who was it for? It was for, it was on kickoffs. You can't kick out of bounds. Oh, duh. I'm an idiot. Oh, well. Take that as you will. But nice little sack on the play. They're not going to use a timeout. Okay, Carolina will use a timeout after even just burning out like 4 seconds of the clock. Weird enough. But Carolina has 30 seconds, 2 timeouts. 2nd and 14, though, not a very easy conversion here. They have to do something to kind of keep themselves, from, getting too far back here. Nice little completed pass. Gets them a first down here. Will they use a timeout? Was that inbounds or was that incomplete? Did I miss something? I don't know if I missed something. Oh, it was incomplete. 3rd and 14 still. So, all right, we'll see if they try again. Nice completed pass this time to use a timeout. 22 seconds remaining. They're still slightly out of field goal range. They need to get comfortably into the 35-yard line, which is about another first down play ahead of them. So one more first down should get them in. It's a fumble, though. Who recovers it? Carolina recovers it. Carolina recovered it, but they spiked the ball, though. Oh, my gosh, they fumbled and now have to spike the ball. So they have to get within field goal range within 1, maybe 2 plays. It's not going to be easy for them. What are they going to do here? Carolina backing up, swatted down. 4th down. So no matter what, Carolina has to get a first down here. And conveniently, the first down marker is pretty much where they probably want to kick from, 35-yard, 45. I mean, I guess it's still a rough field goal. 52 yards is not easy. But doesn't matter. Turnover on downs. Atlanta takes this win, 27-24. The attacking team wins once again. Holy moly. What a game for us to see here today. That was pretty good showing from these two teams. With that close divisional matchup comes a really big reward, and Chris Jenkins there for a 14-point overall upgrade to the D-tackle position for the Atlanta Falcons here, as well as the Atlanta Falcons get a little bit of an upgrade at left outside linebacker from a 78 to an 83, and the wide receiver 2 from a 77 to an 82. So pretty nice upgrades for Atlanta Falcons to really increase their team's odds. And Atlanta Falcons have this nice little weird piece of land since they have South Carolina pretty much not claimed yet because, they have this little canal thing. I just did my best. They're somewhere there. And this quick reminder, too, even if the Panthers won that, they would not have gotten Michael Vick. They are not allowed to steal any quarterbacks in this round of NFL Imperialism. So Michael Vick continues to lead the Atlanta Falcons and will continue to lead. I don't know why I really made that a point since the Atlanta Falcons won that, but beside the point. The Carolina Panthers now eliminated, so we need to find the next team for this next round, whether it's an expansion, a matchup, whatever they want. The Minnesota Vikings, though, they have a couple options. They can attack the Packers, I believe, and they could expand northwest. That may hit Canada, but I think that might be in the North Dakota to actually give them an expansion. As the Vikings claim North Dakota, they also get some nice little needed team boosts. The tight end increased from a 75 to an 80. The kicker increased from a 79 to an 84. And the right outside linebacker from a 76 to an 81. So nice little upgrades for the Vikings. So good for them in this little intermission time. But we have to still resume to the next team. And we'll see who's up next, which will be the Denver Broncos, which pretty much I think just have expansions. So it's just kind of depending on which expansion they really go for. Pretty much due east, but a little bit more to the northern side of things. No, I forgot. The Cowboys now connect them, and the Chiefs now connect them. I forget about this. This actually might be pretty dang close. I think we might have ourselves a matchup. I don't know about y'all, but that's pretty clear as day. The Broncos decided they wanted to pick a fight with the Chiefs, their division opponent. And from looks of it, it's a pretty, a one-sided matchup with the Chiefs having a really great offense, but Broncos having a really good defense. But the overall is still in the Chiefs' advantage here. And I guess the Chargers, the former champions of the first NFL Imperialism, are pretty happy seeing their opponent square off this early on. Especially the winner of this will go into the top 3/4 of the NFL teams left. So really awesome to see. And after this matchup too, we have not yet seen from 15 teams. So this is a lot of implications going into the second quarter of this whole game right now. But either way, Broncos at Chiefs. What a game this is turning out to be. 6-6 high-scoring matchup here. But Kansas City does have the advantage here. After a 2-minute warning, they have 1 minute and 29 seconds left. Easily, almost into the red zone of the Denver. Actually, they are in that red zone of the Denver Broncos. But they have 1st and 10. Denver just called the first timeout, and Denver has to get them a stop before their next first down. Otherwise, the Chiefs can just kill out the clock and kick a nice little field goal. So Denver Broncos might have a chance to respond, and that's all assuming the Chiefs also make the field goal. But very, very close there. The Chiefs almost got that first down. It looks like it's 3rd and inches at this point. We'll see what they can convert here. The Broncos have to make a wild stand here. Otherwise, their game and their imperialism is over. But with that actually might be a pretty good thing for the Broncos, because now, while the Chiefs do have a touchdown now, they are no longer killing the clock, and that means that Denver has a chance to respond. So Chiefs actually, this may end up biting them in the butt a little bit, because now the Broncos are only 1 score behind, just need a touchdown. 1 minute 20 seconds left, led by Jake Plummer. I mean, crazier things have happened in NFL Imperialism so far. So minute 20 seconds, divisional matchup here in the Chiefs. Chiefs kicking off here to Denver. Denver returning it up. Doesn't look like it looks like an okay return. So minute 15 to actually make some magic happen for themselves. Also, I just realized I put this in the full screen. Kind of nice. It kind of makes the recording a little weirder, but I guess it's all right. I'm not gonna complain too much about it. Either way, Denver cannot go for a field goal. They have to actually get the touchdown. Otherwise, the game is over, as we stated before. Chiefs and Broncos have faced off a decent amount of times, I believe they faced off twice already in NFL Imperialism. I can't remember the exact results, but I knew Chiefs has gone far in one of them and Broncos have gone far in the other. So I assume that it's 1-1. But the 3rd down conversions for Denver Broncos pretty bad, but they do go 3 for 14 now, as kind of stated before. This is just a very weird game when it comes to 3rd down conversions. Either way, they spike the ball. 6-13 still, of course, 40 seconds remaining, and they are on the Chiefs side of the ball, or Chiefs side of the Chiefs side of the field. There we go. But they have to make something happen. But instead, Jake Plummer just scrambles. Okay, all right. I mean, I guess you got to do... drop pass, too. That was a key pass to catch there. I mean, man, and now it's like 4th and 4. The Broncos are intense. They have to get this conversion to stay in this matchup right here. Let's see what they can pull off here. Can they get it? Turnover on downs. The Chiefs win 13-6. Denver Broncos packing bags, going home. No surprise here. One of the 99 overall players gets transferred over after a loss from the Broncos. Champ Bailey's joining the Chiefs to really boost up the secondary. 99 overalls. Nice little addition for the Chiefs, as well as, unfortunately, them taking up... What the heck? Why is my screen all black? Come on, there we go. I tell you, this full screen's making it all weird. Oh, well. This Chiefs now taking over this nice little territory, kind of a little elongated. Does not feel very nice seeing the Chiefs in Colorado territory, but it is what it is. And this board is the current state 3/4 of the way through Madden 2005 Imperialism. We haven't really seen much from the West Coast teams at all, and a little bit the North, only a little bit Northeast. Haven't seen the Florida teams in a while, and really a lot of movement in the middle of the actual United States. Like I said, 15 teams are still left that have not yet been seen in NFL Imperialism. But with that said, we will find out who is next after we get rid of the Denver Broncos, of course. Unfortunately, bye bye Denver. Sayonara, as we say hello to another team here, Tennessee Titans, 49ers. I talk about West Coast teams. We get to the 49ers. 49ers, what kind of move are you going to want to make? There's a lot of different territories you can go for. Northeast-ish looks like. And it looks like it's going to be this nice little expansion for the 49ers. I had to get out full screen. It was bothering me. That black screen is bothering me. Either way, 49ers get a nice little upgrade after expanding there. Their tight end went from a 75 to an 80. Their D tackle 2 went from a 76 to an 81, and punter went from a 72 to a 77. And of course, if you look at the map here, if I pull it up, boom, bada bing, they nice claim a little Oregon magic there. So pretty nice little expansion for the 49ers. Also, want to make a quick note just of a mistake I made earlier. The Redskins, when they won their matchup, I upgraded their left end instead of their D tackle 2 because I thought the Redskins ran a 2 middle linebackers, but in fact they don't. I went and fact checked that. I meant to earlier, but I forgot about it. So I did upgrade their D tackle 2 from a 74 to a 79 and de-upgraded the 84 overall left end back down to a 79. So even it all out, no worries. I just decided to make it actually official. They didn't play any games, so I mean, not really like it mattered, but I want to mention it for posterity's sake. You know, I am a good man who makes very good decisions. Right decisions is what I say. Anyway, Tennessee Titans, they're up next. We're going to spin to find where they're going to go next. They're going straight north. They're like, I want to attack somebody or I want to go into Kentucky. That's what they want to do. They're going to expand it into Kentucky. Man, Tennessee just loves Kentucky, don't they? It does make a nice little shape when they do expand, so I can't really fault them too much. Either way, I can't fault them for the upgrades they got too. Their D tackle 2 confirmed went from a 73 to a 78. Their fullback went from an 82 to an 87, and their wide receiver 2 went from an 82 to an 87. They had a wide receiver 2 and a wide receiver 3 with the same overall, so I just took the one who was higher on the depth chart. Sue me. Either way, and if you want to actually see what I'm talking about, there you go. Because Calico and fucking Bennett were both the same. So there you go. Beside the point. Either way, we do set the spin to find the next matchup here so far because we just had expansions, which is good. You know, getting the board filled out. We'd like to see it. But we're just really going to see the Tennessee Titans again. They just really want to go. They want to just make their team better, I guess, or beat a team. I'm not too sure. Because now they're going pretty much east, which leads them to a matchup straight. I mean, no doubts in my mind. Take up the whole east coast of the Tennessee border. They're going to go attack the Falcons. Interestingly enough, I wanted to point this out earlier. The Chiefs winning against the Broncos there broke the 5-game streak of away teams winning. So the Chiefs actually was the first home team in a hot minute to win. So let's see who has the advantage here, the home or away team. Does appear overall-wise, Titans do have the slight advantage on the Falcons, but the Falcons are nothing to sniff at either. They are also a very formidable team here, so we're going to see who actually ends up getting on top here. And that kneel down right there, solidifying Tennessee's chance of winning here against Atlanta. Very close. Well, actually, in the end, very close game. Atlanta was down like 21-3 going into the fourth quarter. Atlanta had some big moments here that I was about to record, but I was like, they're still a little too far away. Almost, maybe. But just then, they let up the last first down that Tennessee needed to actually solidify, take this game home. Tennessee in NFL Imperialism has been one of those dominating teams in terms of eliminations. They have eliminated so many teams. I believe this is like their 12th elimination over 3 Imperialisms. They just can't be stopped at times. I don't know what to say, except Falcons, thank you for coming, but sayonara. Also forgot to mention, 21-16, final score. Also, another really cool thing about this game, they give you like a player of the game and team statistics and all that at the end. That's pretty cool. I don't think I really truly appreciate how stacked this early 2000s roster Titans are. I know they got a couple upgrades from expansions and now beating the Falcons. Of course, now they have Chris Jenkins, so now they're just getting really, really strong. But I was going through and I was trying to find out who the lowest overall players were, and one of them was Eddie George, who was 85. So not only did they increase their D tackle by 20 points, their second D tackle at least, and also upgrade their middle linebacker from an 84 to an 89. But they also upgraded Eddie George from 85 to a 90, and he has like almost full awareness, full speed, not full speed, full, what's it called? Break tackle, that's what it is there. Titans are kind of balling out right now. Either way, also, I kind of made their territory as even as I could. they got a little bit of a territory there that's kind of sticking out that's not technically theirs, but maybe one day will be, question mark, who knows? But there you go. That's the best I can do. Either way, we do have to go back to the wheel. Now that the Atlanta Falcons have been eliminated, they're at the very top here. I do remember seeing them there. We have to spin the wheel, see who our next team is coming up. Kansas City Chiefs or Dallas Cowboys? I don't know. Which one? We've seen both of them. Dallas Cowboys are up next here. What will they do? They have a lot of territory here, so they can go in multiple different areas. But it looks like they're going to go more western side of things. Well, what's the plan here? It looks like it's going to be an expansion, but could be facing off against the current one of the champions, one of the only champions left here in NFL Imperialism. I don't know really who avoided catastrophe here, whether it was the Cowboys or Chargers, that they didn't have a match, but the Cowboys did expand in Nevada. It was kind of a boring setup. Oh, well. But the reason I say that is because also Cowboys really didn't gain anything from this. They got 5 points added to the right tackle, and then their special team players. There you go, special team players. Of a kicker going from a 79 to an 84, and their punter from a 76 to an 81. So I guess they have some more reliable kickers. That's pretty cool. But kind of very boring and uneventful, except for the weird shape that this does make. I don't know. I'm liking the shapes that we're getting here. This feels like a unique setup for NFL Imperialism. So I guess there's some wins there for some people. Either way, we have another spin that we have to do this round. And it looks like the Eagles. We haven't seen anything from the Eagles, so that'll be kind of unique, especially from the northeastern atmosphere. So they're going to want to go west, but I don't know if they're able to go west. They are able to go west. I forget that they're on the right side of things. So it looks like they're going to be attacking the Steelers, it looks like. Yeah, there's not really much question here. The Eagles are definitely going to Pittsburgh to fight for Pennsylvania. And a nice little matchup here for the Eagles, of course, on the attacking side of things. And obviously this was before Mike Tomlin because they have a losing record the previous season. So that's pretty gnarly, I guess. Also, just a side, completely unrelated note. The soundtrack in this game reminds me of older WWE music, but also reminds me of like Saints Row 1. If anybody else gets that vibe, leave it down below. That's the vibe I'm getting from the soundtrack here from 2005. But either way, we have a matchup. Steelers and Eagles are certainly giving ourselves a game here because they've kept it close this whole time. Pittsburgh currently does lead after that last drive, 37-34, but the Eagles have been also doing really well on offense too, so we'll see what the end result here is. But the Eagles need at least a field goal to stay in this game, touchdown preferably to possibly win this game, and hopefully we'll see whether they're really going to kill out the time from Pittsburgh here. Beside the point, they still have the 2-minute warning as well, so they have some time. They can just punch out and kind of kill out the clock a little bit. Pittsburgh's defense really needs to step up here. Fun fact, though, for this game while this is going on, just because I just noticed it, I thought, so this is Big Ben's rookie year, so this is Big Ben's first year in Madden, I should say, but he is not a higher overall than Tommy Maddox, who is the current starter for the Pittsburgh Steelers. But he did end up in the actual season starting because obviously you want to start your rookie. By the way, Eagles are going to have to go for this 4th and 4. I just realized they really casually just like almost lost the game just then. So funny enough. Beside the point, Donovan McNabb, of course, leads the Eagles here. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting. Big Ben's first NFL appearance or Madden appearance, and he's not technically the starter in the game, but he's just, by the way, I think that would be pass interference. I don't know if you can tackle them before they have the ball. It looked like they did anyway. Beside the point. Yeah, so just a little cool fun fact about the Pittsburgh Steelers in this game. Anyway, the Eagles are at midfield, about a minute 22 seconds left. Donovan McNabb scrambling, takes a hit though, and Philadelphia does use one of its 3 timeouts. Both teams have 3 timeouts, so they have a little bit of time. Philadelphia's almost within good field goal range, probably. Ooh, fumble. Eagles recover though. Actually, I think that was a gain too. But they're gonna review the fumble. They've been doing a lot of reviews this one, I'll tell you that. It's been kind of strange. I actually think he might have been down. Let's see if the knee goes down. Hits. Ball still in. Ball still possessed. Ball still possessed when the knee hits. So that is not a fumble, at least according to my professional opinion. Also, really cool stuff right there. Just love that machine that they use and actually show the machine in these games. Play reversed. I don't know if that's reversed or if that's just a... Just ignore me. We're just here watching the game. 4th and 9, though. Pretty steep challenge here. Let's see. Throws the ball. Turnover on downs. It looks like Philadelphia's lost it right here right now because all of Pittsburgh has to do, I don't think they have to get a first down here. I think they just kind of kneel it out if they want to. We'll see what they decide to do because there's still a slight chance of a fumble or something along those lines, a miracle. But they will kneel it out because Pittsburgh narrowly won this matchup. 37-34 will be the final score. Pittsburgh's moving on. Just like that, the Steel City visits Philadelphia and takes over Pennsylvania in its totality. The Pittsburgh Steelers pick up all of Pennsylvania here, of course. Going to the actual roster here, they pick up Brian Dawkins as a huge upgrade to their secondary. But also to note, they also have Troy Polamalu, which is insane how actually stacked this roster at this point was. I was kind of just going through Joey Porter, like, dude, freaking Casey Hampton. They've just got some absolute beasts on here on defense. Either way, they did upgrade their tight end from a 71 to a 76 and the right tackle from a 76 to an 81. So this Pittsburgh team is just scary. I love Hines Ward. Like, dude, like this just scares me. This scares me looking at it. The Steelers team back then, no wonder they went 15-1 this season. Either way, super scary. Either way, I've been saying either way a lot, but we got to actually spin the wheel here and find out who the next team up on the challenge docket. Minnesota Vikings. All right, welcome to the party. Where you want to go? Where do you want to go? You want to go kind of north, but to the eastern side of things, which not really going to be an option for you. That basically goes into Canada, which is not a valuable target. Viable target is the actual term for it. Did not mean to spin that. We're going to ignore that. That's my next spin, though. Wherever that goes, it is next spin. That's the official spin. Let this be known. I accidentally spun the wheel. That's the next official spin. Noted. All right, but they actually go that way too. That is not a viable area either. In a perfect world, this will actually just expand, so I can fix that issue with the wheel here. But Southwest is this next way, and that is going to be an expansion. Look at that. South Dakota, first North Dakota, now South Dakota. Seems pretty reasonable. Vikings are going Manifest Destiny up in this bitch because they just expanded to South Dakota, improved their roster just a little bit, of course. They got their right outside linebacker from an 81 to an 86, their middle linebacker from an 81 to an 86, and their tight end from an 80 to an 85. So Vikings trying to become a competitive in this market. Also, again, I keep on going these tirades. I really like the thing the Bears, the Packers, and the Vikings got going. I don't know, it's got a little perimeter there. Plus, the Vikings are such a nice little square little area. Well, it's not exactly square, but you know what I mean. Beside the point, we have to get to the next team, which is already rolled, if you recall, just a few seconds ago, and I accidentally spun the wheel before. This is the first time I'm looking at it, so we're going to find out who it is right now. The Washington Redskins. Cool. Look at that. It even blinks so you can know I'm not cheating. There we go. We're going to spin the wheel, see what they're up to nowadays. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of fighting action. Southwest is pretty much where we're going over here. Southwest. Ooh, that looks like it's going to be dead on to the Titans here. Ooh. Let's just kind of scroll and see. I think it's going to be Redskins versus Titans. In case you're wondering, there is no question the Redskins did absolutely point to the Titans, which actually is a closer-ish game. Titans have a slight advantage, but Redskins are not totally out of this just yet, so we'll see what happens. Also, if you saw a little Easter egg of what I'm watching on YouTube while this is going on, I'm trying to learn the game, okay? I'm trying to learn 7 Days to Die a little bit, all right? Don't kill me. Also, glitch out much? May have to reset the game. Oh, well. Sometimes in NFL Imperialism, we don't need anything big and fancy. We don't need a really close game or, somebody trailing from behind and coming back. Sometimes we can just enjoy a nice 44. I'm about to say they're about to kick a field goal right before time. Well, actually, no, maybe not. We'll see. No. Sometimes we can just enjoy a nice 41-6 blowout victory, especially if it's somebody like the Redskins against the Titans. Titans have saw a lot of victories in the past. They can take an early vacation here in NFL Imperialism Madden 2005. Either way, Redskins advance. Pretty nice to see. It looks like Chris Jenkins is going to be moving from team to team for the foreseeable future. But for now, Washington is his home, and, well, I guess so is the conquer territory of the Titans. But beside the point, Chris Jenkins, welcome to the Redskins, as well as an upgrade from the left guard from a 77 to an 82, and a left end from a 79 to an 84. If you look at their current trajectory now, just a little bit of what's called territory was gained up here, but really they gained all of this because the Redskins went from a very small amount of territory over here all the way to Tennessee's claimed territory. So kind of nice for the Redskins here. Noting over here, I love how the Bucs are just kind of keeping the Dolphins secluded from society. It happens every time, It's like a risk. It's like a risk global domination strategy, man. Good game. Go check that one out. Beside the point, no more of my pop references for now. Pop culture references for now. I say pop culture, more like gaming references. But beside the point, we see the Pittsburgh Steelers, who have a really scary team. We'll see if they want to attack somebody, expand. I'm not too sure. They want to go pretty much out east, though, so maybe they want to be peaceful. Yeah, they're going to be peaceful. They just want to expand, get their players just even better, casually. Scary team gets even better with the Steelers increasing their tight end from a 76 to an 81, their right tackle from an 81 to an 86, and their cornerback two from an 80 to an 85. So kind of nice. Also, just a little other side note I saw while I was just looking over here. The rookies in this game really don't have any pictures, which I guess makes sense, but Oh well, I thought it'd be nice to have pictures in this game. Oh well, sometimes it's how the cards are dealt. Sometimes. But either way, we got to spin once again for another team. Steelers get a little bit scarier, but who wants up to the plate next? Their division rival, the Bengals, maybe want a shot at something. It looks like I'm pretty sure they only have matchups, which are basically going west, maybe a little bit more on the western side. It looks like, I think they're going to clip the Colts rather than the Redskins, but I'll check out here in a second. It's a bit close, but I'd say if you're taking straight from the middle of the B, it's still pretty easily going to be the Colts. So the Bengals, kitty goes meow, as Tom Grossi would say, are going to go and face off against the Indianapolis Colts, one of the juggernauts of this whole NFL imperialism. For the first time in StraightA NFL imperialism, we have a pretty clear shutout victory from the Colts against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Colts have had a pretty easy matchups. First the Browns, then the Lions, now the Bengals. Pretty low overall teams, and the Bengals just could not keep up here today. They even gave up. They started punting the ball a lot. Even though the Colts are we're still slinging the ball. Like just one drive ago, the Colts are still slinging the ball downfield, trying to pump up the score. Nevertheless, though, the Bengals have just been shut out by the Colts in our shutout of Madden 2005. With that shutout comes a bunch of land coming from the Bengals, and of course, I'm about to say a bunch of players. Really, it's just one player. Daryl Gardner joins the team for the Indianapolis Colts, and actually, they get another little boost to their other D tackle because their starting D tackle went from an 82 to an 87, but their second D tackle got replaced by Daryl Gardner. So that was pretty nice. And the fullback gets an upgrade from a 78 to an 83. So yeah, it's weird. A lot of D tackles been either moving around or getting upgraded. So I don't know what it is with D tackles in this game, but oh well, it is what it is. Well, either way, next up, we have to spin on the wheel for our next little matchup or next expansion or whatever it may be, because the Buffalo Bills are rearing their heads, and they want a little piece of the action here as they're kind of rolling to see who they face. Southeast is what direction they're going into, and I think that's pretty easily them picking a fight with the Pittsburgh Steelers, maybe one of the teams they've wanted to try to avoid here, but I think that's pretty clear, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Also, let's take an appreciation real quick. This map feels so balanced, like there's a bunch of teams doing well, but no one's like dominating the board. Colts are doing well, Bears are doing well, Vikings, Chiefs, Cowboys, Redskins. Redskins might be the closest. I mean, Steelers have had two pretty important matchups. Giants are alright, Buccaneers are alright. I don't know, it just feels nice. Just feels nice and balanced. Lots of expanding territories as it's kind of coming together, Oh well. Enough with all that gooey appreciation for the map. We're here to see some blood, sweat, and tears by these teams who want to win this NFL imperialism. Let's get right into it as the Steelers match up once again as the Bills make their first appearance. Up and away, the Bills are taking the ball down 7 points. They have about 2 minutes and about 10 seconds to get down the field and make a touchdown to actually tie this game up, because right now they are playing for overtime. There's nothing they can do to win right now. Well, I say nothing, but they can go for a 2-point conversion, and they get a good run right there. They can go for a 2-point conversion if they wanted to. Likely the AI will say, nah, we'll play for overtime. So we might have an overtime matchup here, but the Buffalo Bills at the 2-minute warning have a lot of ground to make up still, though. They're still on their own, like 35-ish. Bills have been doing well this game, though. Pittsburgh has been putting up a great defensive front, but Buffalo was leading at some point, so the Steelers' offense was really struggling. They got a field goal there at the end, which helped them out, but Bills are still moving the ball pretty well. And I think I really, was thinking about whether I should upgrade kickers and punters, but then I look at games like this, and especially even the other game that Pittsburgh played against the Eagles. Kickers were really important in those games, and like the further out you can get and the more accurate they are, because I mean they miss field goals in these simulations, at least, especially in the older ones. Newer games maybe less so, but like kickers miss, and kickers actually need the power to make some field goals. So I think actually upgrading kickers are pretty important. Punters, I would even say the same thing. I mean, in these older games, pretty good at field advantage. Either way, 3rd and 10. Now it's 4th and 10. Buffalo has to convert this to keep in this game. Otherwise, Steelers are going to take this victory against Buffalo, or at least more than likely. I guess they still have 3 timeouts, but it's pretty much all sealed from there. 4th and 10. Quick chuck down, but didn't have any time to really read anything. The Steelers will now have the ball. Minute and a half remaining. Virtually nothing really that the Buffalo Bills could do. They have 2 more timeouts or 3 more. They have all 3 timeouts. Never mind. So they can still make a quick stop, but we'll see. Yeah, I mean Buffalo still has a small chance. We'll kind of see how the Steelers play this because all they need is a first down And even if they get within like the 40, I mean, if their kicker's good enough, which I'm not too sure, they might be able to win this game. I mean, they're getting stuffed up, so the Steelers will have to really pass if they really want a first down, because they're not really in a comfortable position to be able to get a couple extra yards for the kicker, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't know if their kicker can kick a 57-yarder. They might be able to. Who knows? But, I mean, you just kill a final timeout. You know what? Okay. It means Buffalo will still have a shot here, unless they make a field goal. If they make a field goal, Buffalo pretty much has no shot, and we'll call it there. But they're going to punt it. No, it's punting time, so not within field goal range. So Buffalo will have about 50 seconds or so to actually get this drive. I mean, if they couldn't do it the first time with all 3 timeouts and plenty of time on the clock, then I don't know what they're going to be able to do here. But about 50 seconds on the clock, they're going to get a punt return. Now they're fair catching it, which ends up being a touchback anyway. So they have 80 yards to march down and just stay in this game. Again, field goal will do nothing for them here. So they have to get that touchdown, have to rally the troops, go for something big, and actually convert. Third down conversions have been a major thing in this game, not just the Bills Steelers, but in Madden 2005. People have not been able to convert third downs very much. In the games that they have had more than half the third down conversions, it's been higher scoring games, so go figure on that one. Did they get the first down, though, there? That's an important first step. With spike the ball, give yourself about 30 seconds. Pretty nice, 30 seconds on the dot, and a pretty nice little gain there. Only 10 yards or so, but still. I mean, progress is progress. 31-yard line, and so they have about 69 yards to go. Virtually really hard with 30 seconds, but we've seen the Bills in modern times do it, so maybe... Nope. Pittsburgh does have to use a timeout, though, for one of their injured players. Chemo, not going to say the last name because I have no idea how to say it because I'll butcher it. But 4 for 19 here. They need 5 for 20 if they want to stay in this game. Let's go. Chuck down. No, intercepted. Steelers taking it to the house, though. That is game over. 18 seconds are left with no timeouts. I'm pretty sure Buffalo pretty much have dug themselves a hole they cannot get out of. So after this, pending the extra point, Pittsburgh versus Buffalo will be a 27-13 final score. In no other game will Troy Polamalu be replaced by someone else. But, I mean, I guess if you got to put Lawyer Milloy? It almost sounds like from the Hunger Games. Beside the point, Lawyer Milloy will be taking the starting spot for Troy Polamalu for right now. 14-point overall upgrade. I kind of want to just upgrade, Troy Polamalu 14 points, but rules are rules. I respect them. Either way, that tight end, you remember we've been specking this whole time for the third time this whole video, is now gone up 5 more from an 81 to an 86. So this boy went from a 71 to an 86 and won NFL Imperialism. Claps for this man, Jermaine Tuman. Your hard work is paying off. And also, the left outside linebacker went from 82 to 87. So, the Steelers are still going up there, ticking up there to be a really formidable force in here, NFL Imperialism. Right here, of course, doesn't show it from the landmass, but they've really taken a lot. I mean, they've gotten 3 expansions. It doesn't show really, but, they've done it. Either way, moving on to the next round, of course. I've got to find out what teams want to improve, what teams want to make some impact here. Houston, Texas, I see. No Texans. I guess I didn't fix that. But Houston, Texas is going to be up next. Still very, very new franchise. They're going a little bit more north, a little bit to the west side of it, which is going to be pretty clear into Dallas, which is usually one of their first opponent, usually. But yeah, pretty curious. But either way, this is the third year of the Houston Texans franchise, so we'll see how they do in this matchup against the Dallas Cowboys. The Houston Texans have a chance to win it on this drive. The Dallas Cowboys are milking all the clock they can. Texans have used all their timeouts, I believe. So really, Houston's going all the way in for it. About a minute left for them to make the long drive all the way down to get a touchdown and win the game. I'm about to say no field goal and a touchdown. Wins in the game, basically, pending the extra point, of course. Now, Houston, a fun fact here I just saw in their last drive, they have not converted a single third down. Their 14 points have all come from first or second downs, or I guess maybe it could have been a fourth. I haven't paid attention that much. Either way, Houston Texans need this drive for the victory. It's all or nothing on this one. As we see David Carr, he's doing pretty all right here on this drive. So far, so good. Moving the ball along, 48 seconds, but they have to spike it down, give themselves the time to recoup and get things together. They're about on the 38-yard line of their own. Yeah, about 38-yard line. So they still have many more yards to make up. They have to chuck down pretty far. Not very many good options here except for Andre Johnson. But again, 0 for 13 in their third down conversion. So they need to break this right here, right now. Intercepted, though. intercepted though by the Dallas Cowboys, ending this possibly Cinderella dream of the Houston Texans. This will be it as I kneel it out. 20-14 will be the final score, and Cowboys get some more land. Welcome Aaron Glenn to the Dallas Cowboys, and of course actually some really important upgrades actually happened here. Aside from cornerback, we have a quarterback upgrade. Quincy Carter went from an 81 to an 86, so it's pretty important for the quarterback position. Also, just noticed I forgot Tony Romo was drafted around this time a year ago. Should have noted that in the previous game, but oh well. But I guess inversely, the punter was also upgraded from 81 to an 86. But hey, field position is important in this game. All right, we'll take it. And also, if you look, now we have this again weird southwest coast of like Mexico, and now in the Nevada. The Cowboys are just kind of chilling, Who knows? But either way, we have a wheel to spin. And we have to see what team is willing to go up next to see who the next opponent is. The Dolphins, we don't even need to spin the directional wheel because guess what? The Miami Dolphins down here only have one possibility, and that's to take on the attackers who have been hiding them like a game of Risk this whole game. The Miami Dolphins are taking the fight to Tampa Bay. Well, nothing too eventful here. Tampa Bay had a pretty big lead. They started running the ball a little bit more, and then Miami actually started coming back a little bit, and then they turned over the ball a ton. So that was kind of the narrative of this story. So thanks Miami for playing, but Tampa Bay will take it from here. And take it from here they shall. The Buccaneers have picked up that name, that guy. Good for that guy being a 91 overall because it's an 11-point upgrade to the Buccaneers left end, and pretty good inclusion for the defense for the Buccaneers. They also upgrade their strong safety from an 81 to an 86, and in typical fashion, we upgrade a punter from a 79 to an 84. So I will keep up with tradition there, and as you'll see here, Buccaneers take over the Hall of Florida. The All of Florida, too. I know how to speak today. Either way, we got to eliminate the Miami Dolphins by Miami. We're going to go next to the next team in line here today. San Diego Chargers, a former champion of NFL Imperialism. We have yet to see them in Madden 2005 just yet. What will they do? They will go pretty much north, but a little bit to the east. I don't know if that will matter too much. It might just, depending on where I take it from. But I believe we have a divisional matchup with the, not Las Vegas, the Oakland Raiders coming up. So we have the Chargers going to the Raiders. And as we see here, both teams are actually weirdly 4-12, despite the big overall difference between the two teams. Even though the Chargers are former champions, it looks like it doesn't translate well here because that's an overwhelming defensive overall advantage for the Raiders here. But crazier things have happened in NFL Imperialism. Coincidentally enough, like the Chargers winning the first one. Oh well. Well, the Chargers' chance of becoming repeat Imperialism champions has just fallen victim to the Raiders' raiding, like that, the San Diego area. Well, not San Diego area, but I guess they are ransacking the San Diego area after being attacked at Oakland. So, also, I think I said Los Angeles Chargers earlier. I meant San Diego. Either way, these two teams, oh well, the game's over. Raiders won 26-3 final score, and the Raiders will be taking over San Diego. Pretty damn big pickup for the Raiders here, getting LaDainian Tomlinson, a 20 overall upgrade at their running back position, as well as they upgraded their second D tackle from a 73 to a 78, and their right outside linebacker from a 71 to a 76. Pretty nice stuff there for the Raiders, some pretty good round for them. Meanwhile, you look and they gain the territory, of course, just as per usual. But now we are officially at the halfway point of Madden 2005 Imperialism. This is the current state of the map, and we haven't seen from 5 teams. We have not seen the Packers yet. We have not seen the Saints yet. We have not seen the St. Louis Rams yet, and the New York Jets, as well as the Seattle Seahawks. Those 5 teams we have not seen from, but the other 11 teams have done, some decent stuff here, so made some decent ground. We'll see who's up next, starting our second half, going into the third quarter, basically, as we eliminate the San Diego Chargers. Goodbye, former champions, but we will have a new champion. Already at the halfway point, we know we'll have a new champion, so that's pretty cool. Dallas Cowboys are rocking back up to the plate. Probably expansion, could be a couple of attack maneuvers, too. A little bit east, a little bit on the northern side, so let's see. Ooh, I think that's just easily expansion, though. Cowboys take Oklahoma, as well as upgrade some crucial pieces of their line. They got their tight end from an 82 to an 87, and now their O-line also gets a pretty good upgrade from their center, getting an 83 to an 88, and their right guard going from an 82 to an 87, as you kind of see here. Pretty good upgrades for the offensive line for the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, we still have to find our first matchup for the third quarter, and that will be... maybe the New Orleans Saints. We have not seen them just yet, leaving only 4 teams yet to be discovered or yet to be, utilized. Looks like the Saints are going directly up north just to expand. They want some Arkansas action like they usually do, so we'll give them the expansion. The Saints casually just go ahead and take Arkansas. And yes, I said Arkansas. Don't judge me. Meanwhile, they do get some pretty crucial upgrades themselves. They have some lower overall players, which are getting up there. Left guard from a 71 to a 76. Left outside linebacker from a 76 to an 81. And the fullback from a 76 to an 81. So the Saints are doing all right. They still need a couple upgrades. They really want to get on the level of some of these players that have been, playing the whole game rather than just waiting to the second half. But you know what? I don't judge the strategies here. It worked out for the Patriots once before. Could work out for somebody later on. Either way, let's find another team. Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think we've seen them in a hot minute. So you know what? I like seeing the Pittsburgh Steelers. I like seeing them do well. So let's see where they'll go. They'll go more northwest-ish. So let's go ahead and check that out where they are going. Looks like they're just kind of going to hit the sea. So I'll check the sea, make sure they don't hit. No, it's directly north. That's not going to hit anybody. So I'm not worried about that one. I checked it anyway. Wasn't anything. I had to check it just in case. Now we're going east, which may be something. They are going to hit the New York Giants because they will hit no matter what. This little sliver right here that does connect into actual New York City. Who would have thought? Or wait, yeah, into actual New York City. Oh well. Giants took down one juggernaut of this matchup. Can they take out another? Ironically enough, they're named the Giants, but they took down the Patriots. So who is a real giant in that matchup? I guess Giants for beating the Patriots, but then again, now they're facing the Steelers, who are pretty damn good according to overalls. Don't get me wrong, though. Look at the overall of the Giants. They are not too shabby themselves, so we love game-winning drives because all the Giants have to do is get within field goal range, and we're about to watch their events and see what they're able to actually do it. The Steelers just did a drive and killed about 3 minutes of the clock to actually tie this game up. So now they're crossing their fingers for opportunity to either stay in the game for overtime or get the ball back and possibly win themselves. Either way, the Giants have an opportunity to go down there, kick a field goal. They don't even need to kick make a touchdown. Wow, this is a really good take from me, but the play's already going, so I'm not going to stop it. Either way, the Giants not looking good so far. All they need to do is gain. They don't even need to get that 30 extra yards that it's required for a touchdown. They are pretty poor at converting third downs. Steelers are also pretty poor at doing that as well this game, and they run the ball at third down. So I guess they're just playing for overtime. I guess that's the strategy here from the Giants on 3rd and 10, just to run the ball. I guess that's smart. I don't know. Well, now in 10 seconds, the Eagles, the Giants actually will give the opportunity to the Steelers to now win the game. Much better field advantage, I would say, too. About 36-yard line for the Steelers, who have been moving the ball in the second half pretty dang well. Their third down conversion rates are still not very good, but they don't need to get that many first downs to actually get the win. Was that a catch? Was that inbounds? That could easily be inbounds, and they would be in field goal range. Or was that out of bounds? That was out of bounds. About to say, that would have pretty much sealed the deal there for the Giants. But Steelers still going to get in their playoff. See, throwing it deep, though, into double coverage. Interesting choices from both these teams. All right, this is a really exhilarating game to see for the second half thing. See, again, Pittsburgh 2 for 15 converting third downs, especially 3rd and 10. I don't know the likelihood here. 4th down now. I guess they'll probably elect to punt it as well, giving the Giants yet another opportunity to go down and win this game. Will somebody do that before overtime? Because I don't know if I could watch a whole overtime period of this kind of play. I'll be honest with you. Giants, though, take it back for piss poor yardage, it looks like. So basically nothing changed. 24-yard line, Giants have the ball. Let's see if they do something with it. Maybe they won't run the ball on 3rd and 10. Maybe they'll actually throw the ball. Almost intercepted, though. That would have been interesting. The defense wins the game. That would be a very intriguing end of this game. But maybe if somebody can complete a pass. I don't think I've seen a completed pass in the recording so far. We'll just see. Either way, quarterback drops back. Gets the first down, is at midfield. Here we go. Now it is cooking. Okay, Giants decide not to scramble up to it. They decide to use a timeout. Smart. It's very smart. They have one more timeout. All they need to use it when they get within like 35 yards, like 35-yard line maybe. I'm not too sure how good their kicker is. Incomplete pass, but it's okay. All you want is like 2 more first downs, and you're going to be in field goal range, and that's all you need to win the game. Giants play smart. You played against the Patriots and took them down. Now you're playing against the Steelers. Will you take them down? This is where you prove your grit here. Throw the ball deep, double coverage yet again. What's up with these quarterbacks throwing the double coverage? I don't know if I like it. Either way, I guess. Be really, really funny to see the Steelers go on further with a backup quarterback now. I mean, obviously Maddox is a the primary quarterback due to overall advantage, but still. Either way, 4th down is now here. Giants will probably elect to go ahead and punt it and send it back to the Steelers. And that is correct. Feagles, the punter. Well, Feagles. I'm not going to say what that kind of entails. And it's a touchback, so it gives them a 20-yard line. All right, let's see what the Steelers can do. Will the Steelers just try to basically get to overtime, or are they going to actually try to move the ball and, kick a field goal? They have 2 timeouts, so this is pretty convenient for them. Pretty good pass down the middle. This is what we like to see. They use a timeout. So look at this. This is smart football by Pittsburgh already. They're only at the 30-yard line, 31-yard line, but they can just, as long as they move the ball. Look at that. Move methodically down. Don't use a timeout. They're going to spike the ball. They're going to actually go for it. No, they're actually just going to go for it. Oh, there we go. Good pass down to the 40-yard line into Giants territory, but they're not quite in field goal range, so they need to get the ball off. Decided to not spike it. They decided to actually go for a play there. Interestingly enough, I don't think I've seen that very often from these teams. I think they usually elect to spike it. Either way, Giants are now at the 40-ish yard line, but they need like 5 or 10 more yards. Honestly, oh gosh, they need one good pass. Otherwise, man, I don't know how good their kicker is too. I mean, because right now, it'd be, what, a 57-yard field goal? I mean, you have no reason not to go for it if that's the last play. But there we go. So now let's kill the clock down to about 3 seconds, use the timeout, and kick the field goal. Perfect. 2, 1. There we go. 1 second. Okay, I got nervous. Like, oh my gosh, they're not going to call the timeout. So Pittsburgh, this is for the game. Again, this is, remember all those upgrades to kickers? I don't know if Reed got any upgrades, but maybe he was good enough anyway. They're going to ice the kicker, though. All the timeouts are done. This is going to be a close game. 23-20 is the potential score here if Pittsburgh makes a 46-yard field goal attempt. Remember all those upgrades to kickers? This is what they pay off for. This is the moment. And it is good. We have got the game finale. Steelers advance with 23 to the Giants 20 final score. And for all their troubles, the Steelers will actually receive Richard Seymour as a nice little addition to the right end position here. Of course, now they have really good depth there. The Steelers have a really good roster anyway, as we see from their upgrades of their quarterback now going from an 84 to an 89. So Maddox is actually increasing his stock value just a little bit. And actually, let's go ahead and take a look quickly at these. Quick Tommy Maddox, there you go, 7 years pro, about 30 years old at this point, I believe. But the most important upgrade, the kicker who just saved them the game, Jeff Reed, 83 to an 88. Pretty good kick power, pretty good kick accuracy now. So now we have upgraded him if we haven't already. So there you go, Steelers, for that one. As well as now they got this nice little territory up here. I don't know. It looks very slick. No, let's not look at my Wi-Fi and all that. That would not be good. There you go. The Steelers are taking the territory again, expanding their already big threshold in the Northeast. But now it is time to see who is up next. We had the Pittsburgh Steelers take out the New York Giants. We just gotta find where they are because they weren't the ones actually put on the. Oh, what? Look at that! They're right next to each other. Boom! Bye bye, New York Giants. Who is up next? We're gonna go and spin the wheel too, because why not? I feel feisty right now. We have the Minnesota Vikings up next, and they're going about south, a little bit to the west though. So boom. So they're just gonna expand though. They just like expanding. They like territory. They're Vikings, okay? They like territory. Don't judge them too much. And just like that, another territory is conquered from the Vikings, taking over Nebraska. And they get some key upgrades. Whoops, wrong tab. They get some key upgrades for their team, too. Their wide receiver 2 behind Randy Moss went from an 83 to an 88. Their left end went from an 83 to an 88. And the right end went from an 81 to an 86. So the Vikings, with these expansions, have been slowly grinding out their team to higher and higher standards, which may make them a pretty scary threat to other teams here in the near future. Either way, we have to get an actual matchup for this round, as I say every time we spin this wheel. But a team we have not seen, at all this Imperialism, the St. Louis Rams, who actually I'm pretty sure are pretty much surrounded on every side. So they're just electing to go east, a little bit more south in the eastern area. But, I mean, pretty much if they're going to go east, they're going to face off against the Bears, who have not been seen for a hot minute. So the St. Louis Rams going to Chicago sounds like a pretty good matchup to me. Even though we haven't seen the Rams in a hot minute, they still have a pretty dang good roster. So we'll see how the Bears, kind of one expansion really helps them out in this matchup. At the 2-minute warning, the Chicago Bears will have 3 timeouts and 2 minutes to maybe solidify this game. No field goal is needed. Well, actually, they can't really use a field goal. They need to get a touchdown here to win the game. There's no ties. There's no planning for overtime. It's win it all now or lose it all now. St. Louis Rams and the Chicago Bears had a pretty good matchup this week, or this, I guess, game. They were back and forth for a little bit, it looked like, and in the end, I don't think it was very high scoring in a couple quarters, but there was explosiveness in between it somewhere. But now we're here at the end with the Chicago Bears trying to line up. Incomplete pass, of course, first, and the second incomplete pass next. So they now will have to go for the third down. Important thing is to stay alive this drive. They can't really afford to punt the ball. I mean, they could, and then use all 3 timeouts. They'd like their defense, but really they prefer not to. Because even if the Rams kick a field goal, it's not the end of the world because they can still respond with a touchdown and tie the game, take it to overtime. Obviously, they don't prefer that. We'll see what they elect to do. They will decide to go for it. So this is for all the marbles. This down, 4th and 10. Instead, they did a screen pass to then get no. You know, I'm not going to question the decision-making, but maybe the decision-making could have been better. I mean, they still have a shot because they can use their timeouts, but that was just weird. St. Louis Rams, if they get a first down, they have essentially, officially put this in. I won't say officially. Shouldn't say officially. They've basically put it in. So now we'll have to see whether they're just going to elect to kill the last time out definitely or go for a pass and end the game now. Either way, the Rams will have a good decision. 8 for 16 on conversions, but they don't really need to convert this. But they're going to try to anyway. Instead, they give Chicago still one of their timeouts. So they'll elect to kick a field goal, get that 3 points, and then make Chicago try to run all the way down the field for a touchdown just to send it into overtime. So the Rams have the complete control of their destiny right now. Their defense has to come out for one more good drive because they get the ball back. It's lights out for the Bears, of course. Now, we haven't seen the Bears do too well in Imperialism so far, but we've seen the Rams do all right. So this is kind of be an interesting one because I think either one of these teams would be very interesting going forward to see do well. But either way, Bears returning. A fair return. Not really a good return, to be honest with you. Rams excited and jittered for this. Look at all these fans and the personnel in the backgrounds. Those are really just still images that kind of go back and forth. Instead, they throw an interception immediately, and I didn't even, wow, holy crap. That was brutal. That is super brutal. Wow. Poor Bears. That's just I don't know even what to say there. Bless them. Either way, St. Louis Rams will just run the ball out, run this clock out. Pretty sure technically they'll have a little bit of time, the Bears do, because I don't think the time clocks are exactly lined up exactly. Wow, that's really good math. Really good wording from me. Holy crap, Dawson. Speak good Linglish language. Either way, the final score will probably be 26-16 after they kick a field goal. We'll elect to see that real quick, but instead they're going to just kneel the ball, kick a field goal after the 40 seconds or so is killed down. Bears will have some time to try to respond in some way, but they probably won't have enough time to really drive down the field like this whole game they've had. So, looks like it's going to be over, but we'll wait till the clock hits whatever it does and they kick a field goal. And so 6-5. There we go. 26-16 is going to be the final score. Sorry, Bears. It was fun seeing you around, but the Rams are taking your territory. That was original, wasn't it? Well, don't worry, Chicago. Your legacy lies with Brian Urlacher like it almost does in every Imperialism, it seems like. It's almost like he's your best player, almost in franchise history or something. Either way. But lucky number 57, by the way. I love the number 57. Beside the point, the game also crashed, so everything should be up to date, but just in case, just want to let y'all know. They did get a couple other upgrades, though. Their fullback went from a 77 to an 82, and the right end from a 72 to a 77. So, good little upgrades for the Rams for the first little appearance, but I'd say Brian Urlacher at middle linebacker does help them out quite a bit. There was a tie in differential. There actually was a 17-point upgrade both at middle linebacker and center. It looks like they need more help at on defense, so I just gave him Brian Urlacher. Just want to be transparent with y'all. Either way, being more transparent with y'all, let's actually find out who's up next, because we got to eliminate the Chicago Bears right here, and we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here on this little map. And it looks like Dallas Cowboys, we have seen them multiple times today, so they'll get a chance to either expand. I believe they have some room for expansion or just attack somebody. For that's going to be pretty close to, but I think that's going to be the Cowboys at the Chiefs this time. I don't know about y'all, but that's pretty clearly the Cowboys going right to the Chiefs' home territory. By the way, really enjoyed this. NFL Imperialism has been really even in the middle ground. Usually the middle is comprised of one team slowly engulfing the whole middle coast and just being the person that usually gets attacked. So it's really nice to change of pace, seeing a lot of different teams who are decently good on their own right, all mixed in the middle of it. Actually, Cowboys and Chiefs will be the first really big matchup of these bigger teams. So this is going to be really interesting, especially if you look at right here. Cowboys and Chiefs match up very well against each other. Obviously the defense is slightly edged to Cowboys. The offense are slightly edged to the Chiefs. Overalls are pretty much the same. It could be anybody's game, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see how this turns out. Well, Kansas City has this one in the bag as they just hold the ball for the final, final seconds of this game. 25-7, really weird score here for the Chiefs and Cowboys. But Chiefs easily take this game away. No surprise there. I should say, pretty surprised there. Most interceptions by a team in a game, though. Whoa, let's see that. I didn't see that part of it. Let's see that. What was the interceptions in a game? Okay, let's go to there. And interceptions, right? There we go. Gotta sort this somehow. I don't know how to sort this. There we go. Whoa, my gosh. 7, 8, 9. 9 interceptions. Holy moly. Champ Bailey. Man, this is a freaking secondary that they're doing this kind of stuff. All right, I just saw that. I was like, all right, that's kind of cool. I haven't seen many of those in this game. So, pretty cool. 25-7 final score, though. Chiefs take it home. They now control the entire middle of the, not entire middle, but like southwest middle of the whole board. Pretty nice for the Chiefs here. And the Chiefs get even better. I'm kind of sick of seeing them be good in the present, even though they're kind of sucking this 2023 season. Either way, they're looking really good now after the addition of another D tackle of an 11-point upgrade here, 13-point upgrade. My mistake there. As well as upgrading their punter from an 82 to an 87 and their wide receiver 2 from an 83 to an 87. And man, if you look at this territory, honestly, in hindsight, it really isn't surprising to see the Chiefs win as dominantly as they did because they had a great offense, and now they're just making their defense even better with the addition of Leroy Glover, I believe how you say it. Either way, the Cowboys say sayonara. We say hello to the Chiefs, who are actually the actual real king of this whole imperialism so far in this one, at least Madden 2005. I meant to mention as well, before the outing of the Cowboys, we actually had our playoff teams, our 14 teams left. Now we're down to 13, unlucky number 13, of course, but we have to keep on advancing this. In addition to advancing this and kind of spinning this wheel, we haven't seen 3 teams, the Seahawks, the Packers, and the Jets, so hopefully we'll see some of them pretty soon. Speaking of one of them, the Packers, they're like, hey, you know what, I think it's about time we show up. Believe they can only really face their divisional opponents, and they're basically going west to say hi to the Vikings. So the Packers will be taking the fight to their division rival, the Vikings. I don't know, though, Packers. Yeah, I mean, you've been kind of on the sidelines in hibernation mode, while the Vikings have just been getting stronger and stronger. You see how much land they conquered, and they haven't really needed to fight anybody, I don't believe. So that might be a poor choice, but there's only one way to find out. Well, as we see here, it looks like that choice was very, very poor, considering Minnesota just ripped Green Bay a whole new asshole for this NFL imperialism. Turns out Green Bay, maybe just sticking around in your own corner only works for a couple teams, not yourself. So sorry, Brett Favre and the Green Bay Packers. Minnesota's got you, 16-3, final score. You know you might be stacked when you only have an 8 overall upgrade to your running back, and it's Amon Green. I'm not saying Amon Green's bad. I'm just saying an 8-point upgrade for an Amon Green. Feels like you get a lot better than that, but really the Vikings are just really, really good. They also had an upgrade to their kicker from an 84 to an 89, and their tight end from an 85 to a 90. So the Vikings are just kind of balanced around the high 80s at this point. So the Vikings, after that win, have just even solidified themselves a little bit more. It's kind of crazy. I mean, look at the little shape they're making here. Kind of did my best. It is what it is. But yeah, this is just an amazing little map we're getting here of all the big territories here. We haven't seen anything from the Seahawks or the Jets just yet. So those two are the only teams that we have not seen yet in this NFL Madden 2005 Imperialism. Either way, though, we have a wheel to spin because we're going into the next round, our final 12 teams. St. Louis Rams, just below the Vikings. Will they decide to go ahead and take the fight to them, just like the Green Bay Packers, or somewhere else? Northeast, that could very well hit it. I think that's going to hit. I think it's going to be close, but I think it will end up hitting the Indianapolis Colts. Remember, my rule is the Rams kind of are pointing probably over the little ocean here, or a little canal or lake or whatever. You know what it is. Right over to Indianapolis. I count that. As long as it's connecting the whole territory. As long as the territories are connecting, I will count it. But we'll see who they're facing off exactly. Should be the Indianapolis Colts, though. I don't know about you guys, but I just made a very educated decision about this, and it certainly didn't hit Indianapolis. This little arrow right here is barely clicking, like right here of the edge right here by the Vikings territory. If you go about the middle of the ram, right about here, it clips the Vikings territory. If you put it about the forehead, that's when it reaches the Indianapolis territory. But I usually go about the middle of the logo, and I consider this about the main central point of the logo. And as a result, we have a St. Louis Rams going to Minnesota to make Minnesota play back-to-back games. And look at the overall difference. It's pretty dang close. I don't know which way it could go here, but one of these two teams are going to make themselves a real big pillar of this NFL imperialism. Well, holy hot damn. I guess the Rams are fucking really good. The Vikings may have been improving this whole time, but man, the Rams had a roster not to be trifled with in the first place, and they have been dominating this whole game. Final score is going to be 39-10 unless Vikings do something miraculous. No, doesn't look like it. Yeah, wow, that was just a blowout by epic proportions. Overalls were very similar. Sometimes just how it goes, man. The Rams just sent the freaking Vikings packing back overseas, I'd say. As the rest of the Vikings are sailing back home, they're leaving around Matt Burke so he can join the St. Louis Rams in their conquest for the rest of imperialism. So that is pretty nice for them. They also received an upgrade to their tight end and right end, both from a 77 to an 82. So pretty nice upgrades for the Rams, but honestly, kind of a lower end roster than I thought they would have after just demolishing like somebody like the Vikings, which is kind of weird, but you know, it's beside the point. We have to go forward. Oh wait, I gotta show you the map, show you the upgrade that the Rams now taking over. Honestly, if the Rams or Chiefs face off, we'll finally be in that zone where now there's like one really big team in the middle, and everybody kind of will have to fight through them to get to the other side. So kind of a little weird there, but either way, we have to spin a wheel. We're down to our top 12, I believe. Gosh dang, we're getting through this quick. And we'll see the New Orleans Saints come back up to the what's called batting box, I guess. I'm not too sure exactly what would be, but they're going to go northeast to go face off against somebody possibly, or no, they just want to expand. They just want to get their team a little bit better since they're by both the big juggernauts at this matchup. Nothing too fancy for the upgrades, of course. They just upgraded their D tackle 2 from a 79 to an 84, their left guard from a 76 to an 81, and their right outside linebacker from a 78 to an 83. There we go. I had to look down my paper once again. Some just quality of life improvements for the Saints, and they made their territory a little bit more symmetrical. Not quite symmetrical just yet, but a little bit more at least. Either way, good little improvements for the Saints, but we have to find out our next matchup, of course, as always, every time. That's why we spin this wheel. Will we see? Oh, we'll see from one of the teams. It'll be the New York Jets. So officially, the Seattle Seahawks have clinched the Shy Guy, or whatever I named that whole trophy, because the Seattle Seahawks are the team we have not seen. We've seen last in this imperialism. So congratulations, Seattle Seahawks. But New York Jets, you are up to the bat, though. Will you improve your team? Will you go out and fight somebody? Who knows? Northwest is where you're going to go. And, well, you can't go northwest. You can only really go east or south, pretty much. Not really north. You might be able to get like a northeast-ish, but like you got to go somewhere. You got to fight the Steelers, or you got to expand. One of your two. That's going to be pretty close, so I'll check that real quick. I'm sorry, Jets, but that's just a little bit north of the next territory over, so I'm going to have to spin this again. But it's pretty close. I do go from like the interior of the E and T of that little cross-section area. It's roughly what the symmetrical portion of it would all be. So if you see these little two arrows, I kind of just hit the middle, which is roughly in the middle of that E and T. It unfortunately does not lead to an expansion. So we'll need a little bit more definitive answer from you, Jets. That's not a definitive answer, I can assure you that. If the other one wasn't good, I can assure you that one isn't good. Pretty much east, though, that is much more definitive, and that's easily an expansion for the Jets. There you go, Jets. You got Vermont under your belt, and some decent little upgrades for your team. You got your punter from a 76 to an 81, your left outside linebacker from a 77 to an 82, and now your right guard from a 72 to a 77. Not too shabby, but you know, you could have better rounds, maybe a couple more expansions. You got a little cubby hole you can still work that through. In fact, maybe you want to go again. We'll see, because the wheel's going to be spinning right now, and the Pittsburgh Steelers, man, maybe the Jets don't want to see that, because the Steelers are looking for some fights, and maybe they want to pick one with the Jets. They want to go northwest, which leads pretty much in the ocean. I don't think that really leads to anything, because it has to be a little bit more north for them to really hit the Jets. I guess it could theoretically hit the Colts, but it has to be much more west than that to actually be able to hit the Colts. So we'll take that as we will. And they're going to go more south, but a little bit to the west. So they're looking for a fight. And I think that is going to be clear as day, going to hit this little this little land piece of the Washington Redskins. So I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are heading over to Washington. Also, as a side note, whoever wins this is going to have a really awkward piece of land. Imagine going all the way up north, all the way down to south, and having like a bunch of like in between here. I don't know where I'd have to put you. I guess I'd have to put you like right there. I don't know. I have to deal with that problem here in about 20 minutes when the game's over. Oh well. In other news, though, both these teams actually match up pretty well. With the Redskins' slight improvements and the Steelers slightly making improvements, actually should be made out for a pretty good game. every time I boast about how close a game looks like it's going to be, it ends up being a fucking destruction path for one of these teams. And in this case, it was the Steelers absolutely taking note of the Washington Redskins by 39 points. Holy moly. The Steelers do look like a very good roster, and after beating the Redskins, they should be pretty proud of themselves, and they should be getting a pretty good pickup here. It's all but over. We'll see this final play just to make sure nothing crazy like a touchdown and onside kick to onside kick or something. By the way, Steelers literally tried to insult the injury. They could have ended the game with one simple completed pass or a running play. Instead, now they literally are about to put 3 more points on the board just to rub it into the Redskins, which, you know what, I don't really blame them. It's all about rubbing it in a little bit more. So the final score, pending anything else happening, is 53-21. Well, that's an interesting, as we kind of stated earlier, very interesting layout for the Steelers here, but it is a layout. It's probably the most even I can probably make it about. If you have some critiques, put them in the comments below. Whatever, I'm not that fooled with it. But also, the whole finding the best players to upgrade and the best players to trade was actually really complicated for the Steelers as well, because they had 2 potential 10-point upgrades to their starters: a tight end upgrade from an 86 to a 96, and a running back upgrade from an 85 to a 95. And so of course, I kind of analyzed everything and realized the 85 is the lowest overall players, and so I just replaced the running back, upgraded the two other 85 overall players, and was able to keep Jermaine Tuman, the guy we've been upgrading this whole time, at an 86. So criticize me, it all ends up the same anyway. I stressed about it way too much for like 5 minutes, but in the end, we got one of the cornerbacks, the cornerback 2, up to from an 85 to a 90, and the right guard from an 85 to a 90. So take it as you will. And we also brought along good old Clinton Portis, good old Denver Broncos legend. I say legend, but he was there for like 2 years, so take that as you will. But he won Rookie of the Year while he's there, so take that as you will. Beside the point, now that the Redskins are officially gonzo, kind of similar to how they are in today's society, we'll move on to the next team on the list here. We have the Indianapolis Colts. Haven't seen them in a hot minute. They are around some very scary teams, though, so I don't know what they're planning on doing. Northwest is their plan of action, and that is going to be pretty clearly going towards the St. Louis Rams, who are pretty scary themselves. As you see, like 2 different golds here, similar to what we had orange in 2004. Kind of gonna get this one's a little bit lighter though. That's a little bit darker. So you know what? I mean, we'll take it. Slight differences matter, but it looks like the Colts want to pick a fight with the big logo here in the St. Louis Rams. But both are pretty formidable. The Colts have gotten a little bit better over time, and the Rams obviously have a really good stranglehold on the board currently. So we'll see how this one pans out. Also, I went ahead and measured it with my good old trusty mechanical device that's totally accurate in every way, shape, and form, and totally not a paper I put on my screen to actually tell where the arrow is going. I probably should do a visual representation on here somehow. I'll figure that out for the future. Probably. Maybe. I'll probably forget about it. Either way, this is really close. It actually just barely hits like this little tip thing based on the middle of the Colts logo. So it wasn't as close as I thought, or it wasn't as dead of a giveaway as I thought it was. But it's still Colts at Rams. And actually, again, saying this in the hopes that we actually eventually do get a close match, they are matched up pretty damn well. 90 overall to an 89 overall with pretty similar stats on both offense and defense. So cross our fingers here. But one more thing to also note here with this little map is that we're down to our top 10, as you see. And we'll see how many NFC, AFC. We got 2 NFC, so 1, 2, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 3, 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 5, 5. We have an even split of AFC, NFC. And I'm not too sure what divisions are left, but we have a good little variety here. And, man, I'm kind of excited. That's the first time I think we've really had a split AFC, NFC map. So far, with some big juggernauts on both sides, I'd say. Mostly, I guess, with the Rams and Bucks. So, take that as you will. But, matchup time. Man, St. Louis about pulled off a miracle, but right before I could click the record button, unfortunately, they threw an interception. Granted, I don't know if it really would have done them any good because they're still 2 scores behind with less than 10 seconds remaining. But at least this was a closer game. I will say the Colts were, like, destroying them by the third quarter. But it looked like St. Louis actually was able to do a nice little comeback. So 33-23 is a much more respectable final score for the Colts to advance. Colts really didn't make this one easy on me either. Their territory was pretty nice and symmetrical though, so that's actually pretty nice for the Colts to get that northern part of it all. But not that part. But they could have stole 5 players. 5 players would have gave them a 9 overall upgrade to one of their players. And so I had to go through and do a bunch of math to determine, like, oh, which one's actually better. Turns out their secondary needs the most help, so I got them Aeneas Williams. They also got an upgrade at right guard from an 83 to an 88, and a left outside linebacker from an 83 to an 88. So their team's looking really good, but apparently they're diminishing returns at some point, I guess. By the way, just some things I didn't cover before. Funny enough, in the Steelers' previous game, even though they put a bunch of points up, they actually had Big Ben out there for a little bit. Tommy Maddox got hurt like halfway through, even though they had like 20 more points already, more than them. But Big Ben came out there and was able to finish the job, so that was kind of nice. And I'm curious also how much playbooks play into these earlier games. I know they play into the simulation factor for some like the newer games, but like I'm just curious like how Madden 2005, how much that matters in terms of like playbooks or not, because we've seen some teams dominate with some pretty similar overall, so maybe it was just luck of the draw. But either way, we now have to solve that mystery sometime else, because we actually have to eliminate. Why are the Minnesota Vikings still on here? They're out of here. I still had them on there. I bet y'all were screaming at me about that one. And the Rams, I guess I already eliminated the Rams. Huh, that's weird. All right, well anyway, top 9. Cool. We'll spin it. And Kansas City Chiefs are up next. Hopefully they didn't eliminate the Rams prematurely. If I did, then oh well. I'm sorry, guys. Going to the West now. Oops, that's the wrong thing. Going to the West, it looks like they're just going to go play the Rams, because I think about the middle right there. And unless they go like more southern part of it, they're not going to hit the ocean. So I think they're going to hit their divisional rival, the Raiders. Looking real quick. I think that is a Chiefs at Raiders. Whoa. Before I get carried away, I actually did go ahead and measure it, and I've been sitting here for 10 minutes, and this is going to be a complete break of character. Like, using 3 little index cards to line up this arrow, and this is not good for my screen at all. I really shouldn't be doing it, but I have no other good foolproof method of actually having a, making sure all of this is definitely correct. And I had to line up and see what's the center of this logo, because this logo is actually symmetrical, so you can actually do a little bit of a symmetrical logo, but I can barely figure that out, because this little dot thing isn't directly in the middle for some reason. It's actually slightly, the middle's technically a little bit above the right little leg of this thing, so I couldn't trust that. So then I had to line it up, and I was like, okay. Eventually, it was so close, I couldn't even figure out, okay, is this actually like, because it was also like, to get an accurate measurement, I had to actually like zoom it out, but then I had to zoom it back in to like line up and see. But every time I did that, I had to readjust. I have to figure out some way to translate that arrow onto this mechanism of Inkscape. It's just whack. What I ended up doing was I said, okay, what's the angle that's needed to be it? I checked that, and I checked the angle. I cross-referenced it, basically. I said, all right, what angle do we need to get Raiders? What angle do we not like to, what's the furthest up it needs to be? And it's like 3 pixels up, and we need like adjust the arrow by 3 pixels. Chiefs to not land on Raiders. That's my final judgment call. Hate me if you will, but if you judge it by about right there, or like roughly right there, it goes like like right there. So kill me, whatever. I'm respinning. It's gonna land on Raiders. And I was thinking this whole time, all of this work, I was like, okay, what if I just spin the wheel again and just give it a retry anyway? And I was like, it's good, whatever. I mean, the ball don't lie. The arrow doesn't lie. It's the Raiders now, definitely, because there's no way that's not the Raiders when we were struggling here the whole time. The ball doesn't lie, I guess. I mean, good God. Whoops, that's the wrong thing. That's the wrong thing, too. Boom. And now boom. Like, yeah, that's 100% now Raiders. Wow, okay. All that work basically just for it to respin and tell me it's the Raiders anyway? Go figure. All right, Raiders or Chiefs at Raiders. Chiefs just got a field goal after this last drive, leaving the Raiders no timeouts and 50 seconds left to drive down the field, get 6 points, and then hopefully shoot for a 2-point conversion just to tie the game up and send it to overtime. The Raiders have one good drive to stay in this game, 50 seconds on the clock, no timeouts. It is definitely possible. We've seen crazier things on this imperialism journey that we've been on, but the Chiefs have a very good defense, have had a really explosive offense too, and passes like that are just going to eat up too much clock. So they got to be very careful and very sparing with those type of plays. They can get down the field pretty well. That's what they need to do. But they're about the 35-yard line, still about 65 yards to go. Instead, I thought the quarterback scrambled, but a sack like that you cannot take at this point in the game. They're going quickly for it. Big pass down the middle, but was that going to eat too much clock? It'll be about Oh, the clock stopped. I don't even know where the clock stopped at. Was that injured? Oh my gosh, the Raiders are actually within the time frame. What the heck is going on here? Why is why is the clock not going? Is he getting out of bounds? The clock stopped? Okay. Some good another great pass. Oh, maybe that last one was incomplete. Can they spike this? They have one more shot. They have one more play. Oh my gosh. I just realized it was like 200 or is that 300% or whatever. Raiders drop back for the pass. Oh, it's broken up for the win. The Kansas City Chiefs narrowly escaped the overtime possibility. Chiefs honestly should have had that in the first place, but man, the Raiders nearly had a good come from behind victory, or at least a chance at the victory. Holy crap. Good game for both these teams, but the Chiefs are the ones that are going to be advancing and taking over the territory. And as the Chiefs are warming up to their new western side of the life, or western territories, they are also going to not get used to Champ Bailey being on the team, but Charles Woodson is joining the secondary of the Kansas City Chiefs, making the secondary really, really dangerous. About a 9-point overall upgrade, as well as there's some upgrades to the right tackle from an 85 to a 90, and the middle linebacker from an 85 to a 90. And I'm just going to say this right now. I know I've said this about a lot of teams so far, but man, this team is just scary right now. There's a lot of upper tier players they have: Tony Gonzalez, Champ Bailey, Will Shields, Priest Holmes, Leroy Glover, Willie Roaf, all under the tutelage of the quarterback Trent Green, who is pretty good if you didn't know. Beside the point, the Chiefs are really doing really well, as you can see from the map. The Colts are doing really well. I think Steelers are doing pretty well. Bucks we haven't seen from a while. Saints, they're just expanding, doing what they can. 49ers, they're chilling. Jets, they're just chilling. And Seahawks, they've been real chilling. So I see 3 real contenders with 2 possibilities, with 3 people who I'm kind of curious how they're going to stack up to the rest of them. But instead of just guessing, we can actually just continue on and figure out how they stack up. Bye-bye, Oakland. We're going into our top 8 teams. This is basically the divisional round of the playoffs here. And we're about to see the Saints here. Maybe they'll get a chance to expand instead of having to fight one of these big NFL teams. Northwest-ish is about what the answer is. It's going to be pretty close, though. I think they do scrape for an expansion, but it's very possible they could still have to face off against the Steelers. And the Saints continue to get gradually better in their own little part of the world, but pretty soon they'll have to pick a fight with one of the 4 teams, my bad, surrounding them. But for now, they're in a pretty good spot. They got a couple upgrades on their defense. Actually, a lot of upgrades on their defense. Their D-tackle 2 went from an 81 to an 86. Their left outside linebacker went from an 81 to an 86. And their middle linebacker went from an 80 to an 85. So overall, pretty nice little turn for the Saints. I wouldn't complain too much about that. But we still have our final 8 teams, and one of them's got to fight somebody. The 49ers are up next. I believe they have a couple options of expansions, or fighting a big guy, or fighting the guy who's not really hanging around anymore. But Southeast, that is pointing probably towards the Chiefs there. That's almost undoubtedly going to be San Francisco taking on the juggernaut that is the Kansas City Chiefs currently. And if you want to see exactly the overall matchup, well, it's not looking good for the 49ers. But again, we have seen crazier things from lower overall teams. But the Chiefs at this point, after all those upgrades, are up to like a 92 overall, which is across the board, which is kind of cool to see. Either way, San Francisco, give it your best shot. You know, in the fourth quarter, the 49ers really had a shot here. I believe it was tied up 10-10 going into the fourth. They were up 10-3. All they had to do is play some conservative offense and, good defense, and they would have this game won. But then Chiefs decided to, like, hey, you know what? We're actually losing. We need to actually not do the thing where good teams lose to bad teams. Let's, just beat the 49ers. And they proceeded to just dominate on offense, get an interception on defense. And, well, I had some hope for the 49ers to have a big upset, but it turns out the Chiefs are just like in, modern times, at least last year, I guess. The Chiefs are just too dominant at times. San Francisco's going to try to put some pity points, some garbage time points up on the board, but pretty sure they're going to fail to do that, and the Chiefs are going to fumble, or Chiefs are going to collect the fumble. This game is over. Final score, 23-10. They're going to challenge the replay. We'll see. Sure, why not? Let's see if it was a fumble. No, it wasn't a fumble. He was down. So it's going to stay with San Francisco, right? Play reverse. There we go. San Francisco's still going to try to get some points. They're going to fail to do so, and the score's still going to be 23-10. We'll give them some pity points. Oh, let's see. Turnover on downs. There you go. 23-10, final score, unless Chiefs decide to be a dick. Julian Peterson, welcome to the Chiefs, and welcome to possibly the best team in NFL imperialism history. Because man, they are just getting better and better. They're wide receiver and wide receiver 2 and D tackle 2 both went from an 86 to a 91, which D tackle 2 now become D tackle 1. But wide receiver 2 still just wide receiver 2. Still, this team is just so good. The lowest overall players are now punter, there's a punter and kicker, and then a couple other positions in the 80s. They are getting insanely good real quick. And man, I don't know what else to say. Here's their territory outlook right now. Kind of evened it up as much as I could, but a lot of big logos here. With a couple teams in the corners there, fearing for their lives after seeing all these monumental teams go against each other. But San Francisco, sorry, we have to say goodbye to you and roll for our last 7 teams. The top 7 teams right here. Saints. They don't have many good options, but they have to choose one. There's four options around them. They're gonna go northwest. And I believe that's going to easily hit the Chiefs. I'll check for you. But I think everybody's just lining up, and the Chiefs are just taking them down one by one. Let's see if Saints have an opportunity to take them down. It was still clearly the Chiefs. And I did say an opportunity to take on the Chiefs. Or beat the Chiefs. They do have an opportunity. It's not a great one, but they do have an opportunity. And a small chance, 17 overall difference or so. I mean, they only increased 1 overall point overall and then only 1 on defense. I mean, how good can the Chiefs really be? Either way, I believe in the Saints. So, Saints, good luck to you. And good luck they certainly had, and not in the case of the Saints this time. It's definitely in terms of the Chiefs as they get a sack on the quarterback there for against New Orleans. Yeah, the Chiefs, this is the moral of the story with the Chiefs so far. Teams line up and say, hey, we want to face you. And Chiefs say, all right, cool, we're going to kick your ass. Kansas City has been kicking ass and taking names for a majority of the second half of this NFL imperialism, and the Saints are no different. They tried getting a little bit of time going, but Trent Green's just going to kneel this out and leave the final score being 32-9. Poor New Orleans. Sorry, but you're going to be packing up and heading to your floodgates. I don't know. The rich get richer, and the Chiefs are gaining more and more land, and they are now in really good correspondence here, the 2 other juggernauts of this imperialism so far. And we are up to our final 6 players here. We've got Seattle Seahawks, Kansas City Chiefs, the Indianapolis Colts, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the New York Jets, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. In terms of the players that they upgraded, they got Joe Horn from them, which is like an 8-point upgrade or something like that, like a 5-point upgrade. But the great thing about upgrading receivers is that you can always probably use 3-4 receivers at a time. So not really going to hurt them any from getting a receiver. And they upgraded their left end from an 87 to a 92 and their kicker from an 86 to a 91. And just a little fact about the kicker. For one, we've noted that kickers are really good. It's also the legend Morton Anderson, who had a legendary, it was legendary, a lengthy career. Now, I am going to have to hope that the Chiefs don't win any more games, at least till the finale, because their cap room, if you don't see in the top right, the little top left corner there, is $70,000. So I'll have to do some big cap room changes if they do win and have to get a big star-studded player. That is, I don't know if there's many players they can steal that will be big improvements to their team. Either way, I've been rambling a little too long already. Let's go ahead and X off the New Orleans Saints, and let's find out which one of these next 6 teams are going to go up to the bat next, and it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Please just expand. I really can't deal with the cap room right now. Either that or lose, or go northeast, probably where the Indianapolis Colts are, right? Yeah. I mean that's the Colts, because you go west, you hit the Steelers, but no, you go northeast, you're hitting the Colts. So 2 of our juggernauts, the Kansas City Chiefs, are heading to Indianapolis for a battle of the behemoths. And this will actually determine, the big land split. Granted, only Seattle's left in this corner here, but they're just minding their own business for now. I'm just saying, it looks like it could be a close-ish match. Now, I feel like I've said this to opponents of both the Colts and Chiefs, and both their opponents have really suffered from it. But now only one of these teams have to suffer. Now, one of these teams have to suffer for their past transgressions, because they both have eliminated quite a few teams. But they match up pretty well. The defense from the Chiefs is slightly better. But, I mean, this is still a very even matchup for both these teams, especially heading to a home field advantage for Indianapolis. Will that play into consideration? I don't know. You're about to find out in like 5 seconds. Me in like 20 minutes. And we have ourselves a game here, ladies and gentlemen. The Indianapolis Colts are punting off after a failed third down conversion attempt to the Kansas City Chiefs, who will have about a little over a minute And I think they have all their time. I think they've used all their timeouts. So they have little over a minute to drive down the field and get a touchdown and extra point, and that will win them this game as long as they don't give the Colts that much time. But the Chiefs have mounted a really big comeback. I think it was like they were down at least by 20-7, and if not a little bit more before then. Chiefs were down for quite a bit. I know it was 10-0, and then it was like 13-0 or something along those lines. And I think they finally started scoring or whatever. But now they're getting the gears back into order, and the Chiefs are looking for a win. This will be their 5th win, I believe. I can fact check that. I believe this will be their 5th or 6th win, while the Colts are looking for their 4th or 5th win. Oh, yeah, about to say, what the heck? Penalty, offsides, and roughing the passer, honestly. I don't know about that one. And, wait, clock's still going now? I thought after that penalty, what the heck? That hurt the Kansas City Chiefs more than anything. All right, well, okay, so they do have one timeout, but the Colts just had to use one of theirs because of an injury. Oh, my gosh. But basically what I'm trying to say is, while the Chiefs have been recently really dominant, the Colts have been dominating throughout the whole thing. I think they've had quite a few wins, probably about 4 wins if I'd re-estimate, and I think the Chiefs are their 5th win. So they spiked to utilize their one timeout to kind of save it. So this is going to be really, really intense because they're at the 40-yard line. It's not too bad. They one more first down, and they're easily within like touchdown range of just like a good pass. Oh, I thought that was intercepted there for a second too. It's a second. No, it's 3rd and 10 because it's after the spike. So Chiefs at 22 seconds. Trent Green, really good offense here, but they have not converted many third downs. While the Colts have converted quite a few third downs. I don't think they're that high, but they still did it. 4th down. Did they catch it, or was that incomplete? Okay, that's probably for the wait. Oh, they use a timeout. So they have to get a first down here, but they also have to make sure they're not just going to run out the clock. First down, but they got to spike it real quick. They're within the 20, so they can probably get 2 good plays off as long as he doesn't complete it. They have to go for the end zone pretty much, unless they get out of bounds or something. They are 19 yards away from a touchdown. This is do or die time for Trent Green and this Chiefs offense. Fake running. Oh, that probably saved them, though. Incomplete pass, 3 seconds left. This play is for all the marbles, or dipping this down to 100% mode. We are watching this in live time. Again, Kansas City, 2 for 11 on third down conversions, but this doesn't really matter. This actually feels like it's going, like, super slow. Drops back, slow-mo. Chuck down pass? Why would you do that? What kind of bullshit? What kind of bullshit is... The Chiefs just threw away their opportunity to win this. They just absolutely blew the game for themselves. They threw a chuck down pass or a screen pass or whatever. God, and they give you player of the game too, the Peyton Manning. Oh my gosh, Trent Green. Who the hell is calling the shots here? I don't even know who the head coach of the freaking Chiefs are, but you deserve to lose after that. All right, 20-14's final score. Colts are moving on. Chiefs, get the fuck out of here. It's about time. Well, this is a pretty appropriate player to bring over to the Colts because Champ Bailey, because the Colts have a really good chance of being the champs today. Not going to lie to you. So, big upgrade over at corner. Of course, their secondary is just so good with all 3 of their corners, 85+. Plus the, plus. Anyway, strong safety went from an 84 to an 89, so increasing the durability of that secondary even more. And their fullback went from an 83 to an 88. And if you look at the map, the Colts are the big champs right now. They're the ones to beat in this imperialism so far. They've dominated throughout the whole thing for a while now. I centered the logos about as well as I could. Take that as you will. And something I kind of learned when I was trading for Champ Bailey here. Luckily, there are pre-existing injuries that you can turn off. But for some reason, only one player wasn't. There's one player on the Bengals, like a corner, that was like hurt and like injured reserve, and their name like glowed gold. I never noticed that before. So luckily that means that none of the other players are definitely hurt in these games, which I didn't think they were, because usually if Tom Brady got hurt or something, he was in pretty much next game, so didn't carry over. But that was a little fun fact I just saw about this game. And second of all, this is something I kind of thought about. I thought about trying to keep stats for the players and all that, and all the leading passers, the best passers per game. That seems like it would get very tedious very quick. There's not really any way for me to go back and even track that stuff now. Plus, it's just so much I would have to keep track of. I'm okay with doing teams, since like the teams change so much, and they're the things that are representing the players. But maybe in the future I'll do a series that keeps track of like player stats in some way, shape, or form. Maybe like a fantasy series or something. Who knows? Besides the point. Enough rambling from me. We're here really to see who the next champ is going to be, because we have 5 teams left: Seattle, New York, Tampa Bay, Indianapolis, and Pittsburgh. And one of them has to go next, one way or the other. They have to line up and do something. New York Jets, they have some options here. They can expand, or they can go right into the thick of it and fight the Steelers. Looks like they're going southwest. Pretty much is going to be a dead indicator of taking on the Steelers. So the Jets will take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. 2 things. The Jets are getting absolutely fucking destroyed by the Steelers. And I forgot to close my door. And no one's home. I just think it's kind of creepy. But you know, I've kind of, it's not nearly as scary as how much the Jets are really getting destroyed. I mean, they're trying to make a last-ditch effort. Good for them. You know, fighting to the very end. I love it. Love to see it. But the Steelers they're dominating. They're one of the best teams in this imperialism right now. So we're going to give them one more play, but we'll see if they can do anything. Maybe a touchdown. Nope, turnover. You know what? Final score 37-16. I've seen worse scores. We've seen worse. I think the Steelers basically destroyed the Redskins before, I'm pretty sure. So, you know, good for you, Jets. You came and played, made it top 5. That's all we can ever ask of you. And for the troubles, Kevin Malway will join the Pittsburgh Steelers after leaving the losing Jets, of course. And the Steelers also received a 5-point upgrade to their fullback from an 85 to a 90, and their cornerback from a 85 to a 90, which actually makes the cornerback 1 and 2 the same overall, which is kind of cool. Now, if you look at the board here, of course, I did put the Pittsburgh Steelers logo a little bit more to the east, I guess, and a little bit more north, but whatever. Still a little bit awkward with West Virginia and South Carolina here, still just chilling, but maybe they'll expand and maybe even it up a little bit. I'm not too sure. And while you got the Seahawks, I would love for them to claim some territory over here and actually get involved in the game because they feel more insignificant than the Carolina Panthers this season, I'll be honest with you. Either way, we have 4 more teams. We're in the Final 4. We are in the conference championships, essentially, which actually kind of works out because we have 2 AFC, 2 NFC, which one's more significant than the other. I will say that at this current point in time. Either way, we'll go to the wheel and find out who's up next to the board, which will be the Indianapolis Colts, who have a lot of different options. They could go many different areas, many different ways, but we'll find out where they want to go. Straight north pretty much is really not an option, unfortunately for them. So they will instead have to spin again. And then we'll find out where they go. Northeast, I mean, I still think it pretty much leads to nothing. They pretty much have to go a little bit more east to like actually do something. But we'll find out, you know. South, straight south. I think that also does nothing for them because they go to Mexico. Can we go west or east or something? I mean, I know you went like northeast, but like, can we get like a little bit more of a definitive answer? Northwest. This is more definitive. With that expansion, Indianapolis Colts take over Wyoming, and they also get a couple good upgrades to both their defense and their offense. Left guard from an 85 to a 90, their left end from an 85 to a 90, and their right outside linebacker from an 86 to a 91. So overall, Colts are looking pretty good in a pretty good spot. But again, while they did expand, and I love seeing those expansions, especially evens up the board a little bit, I want to see a fight. And Tampa Bay, I think, has no choice but to fight somebody. Let's actually just check real quick. Oh, they technically could fight either the Colts or the Steelers, so it has to go north in some aspect. It could technically hit west. I will say that if it does go west and hit Texas or Louisiana, technically does count for against Bucks or against the Colts. This will hit somebody. It's going to be pretty close, though, but I believe it's going to hit the Steelers. Oh, yeah, it's going to hit the Steelers. Because if they go, so that's a whole other thing. If it does go north and it somehow misses this, it'll still go through this territory, which is invalid because you can't claim a territory you're not adjacent to. Then we'll go even more north towards the Steelers, which they can attack since they share a border with. So no matter what, this will be the Steelers. In fairness, I thought this would be kind of a slaughter fest, which it may still be. But Bucks actually stack up pretty well. Remember, their team was still pretty much intact from the early 2000s, from when they won the Super Bowl then. So this could go either way. Another game, another Steelers victory imminent. Is the fourth quarter, 50 seconds left, 30-20. Tampa Bay tried to do something at the end. They missed a field goal. They kind of blew it themselves, to be honest. They had a pretty good opportunity to stay in this game. But the real story of this game for me was Pittsburgh had 6 turnovers. Pittsburgh got 6 turnovers from Tampa Bay. The Steelers defense has killed the Buccaneers. And actually, funny enough, if it wasn't for that defense, Tampa Bay probably would have won this game. But what's funny is, I forgot to mention this in the last one, Pittsburgh's defense also absolutely blasted the Jets. Because the Jets actually were ahead of the Steelers in the first quarter or so. Then the Steelers defense just killed them after that. And the Pittsburgh offense finally started doing something. Actually, from what I remember, there was 2 pick sixes in that game. which led to the offense starting to do something. So this Pittsburgh defense is just something else. 30-20 is your final score. No surprise there. Pittsburgh's taking over Florida. This isn't the most exciting addition for the Steelers, but they won. They get some improvements. They get nice little land in Florida now. They can go vacation if they want and all that good stuff. But they did get their left end upgrade, only 3 overall points to Adelawala. You know what? That name. I'm not going to try to butcher that any more than I already just did by saying Adelawal. Besides that, they got an upgrade at tight end from an 86 to a 91 and the right tackle from an 86 to a 91. Though I do believe at this point, this single tight end went from like a 71 to a 91 all in the span of one NFL Imperialism. So good for this man. He's becoming relevant, and I love to see that. He didn't get replaced. He just became more relevant, and I love to see that. Either way, though, we are down to our last 3, really last 2, because we have the Steelers and the Colts, but we also have the Seahawks hanging up there as the only NFC team. We'll see if they want to make an appearance here. I would love for them to. I am going through everything. Hey, there's all the files. Look at that. That's cool. Look at that. You all get to see that. But we did take out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and down to our last 3 teams. Maybe Seattle just try to skimmy their way to the championship, which maybe so. With the Pittsburgh Steelers now spinning the wheel, they have many options of expansion, so they can make their team even better. But that might be a fight. Yep, there's no disputing that. That arrow is clearly going through this little narrow area between West Virginia and South Carolina from the Steelers all the way to the Colts. We have ourselves our semifinals match, and now we have a clear one half of the championship with Seattle guaranteed to make the championship match, and the Colts or the Steelers will be their competitors. But first, we have to find out who's going to win between the Steelers going to Indianapolis to face off. Hopefully it's a close one. And before we hop in, probably towards the end of the game, this is a very close matchup in overall, so we'll see what happens between these 2 juggernauts. Here we go. We have a match. In the final 2 minutes, Indianapolis will get the ball with 1:55, all their timeouts remaining, and it is a 1-point game. The Steelers defense has been doing really, really well. What the Colts offense has been trying to be overwhelming at times. So this has been a very good matchup. They have had no more than 1 score difference on them the whole game. Tied in the first quarter from what I saw. Excellent work from both these teams so far. Indianapolis scores. Peyton Manning dropped back through an incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, though. Still have plenty of time on their own 26. Pretty good punt position for the Steelers there. So they just need, Indianapolis just has to go down the field and gradually make some progress there. They don't have to do anything splashy. They just need to make progress. Now at 3rd and 10, that's not a very good look for them. But both these teams have above average 3rd down conversions prior to other games. Other games like 2 or 3. First or 3rd downs will be made or converted, I should say. Either way, Colts drop back, got a complete pass and a 1st down. That is what they needed. They can kill a little bit of clock. They have the resource there applied to them. Even a field goal would win them the game, and Steelers almost intercepted that, which would almost definitely win them this game. That's the great position that Indianapolis is in. As long as they get in field goal range, they can win this game. They can steal it away from the Steelers. Steal it away from the Steelers. I'm sure no one's made that joke before. Either way, Peyton Manning drops back, throws it, completes pass. They are now at midfield. 1 and 25 seconds left. Soon, Pittsburgh will have to start actually making some progress here, making some stops here. 2nd and 5, pretty good position for the Colts here. Drop back, incomplete pass. 3rd and 5 now. They have to basically, they'll probably have to use their 4th down. They will probably have to go for it just because they will have no time for their defense to stop the offense of the Steelers. And right now, this is a great defense versus a great offense. Very good matchup here. But who's going to, oh my gosh, that was oh my gosh, I couldn't even process what happened there. It was a complete pass that didn't just immediately got negative yards. 4th and 9, though. This is all for the marbles. Peyton Manning drops back. He gets the 1st down, though. They are at the 35-yard line. Pittsburgh uses a timeout. Pittsburgh has to stop him here now. Pittsburgh has to stop him. They cannot get another 1st down. Otherwise, the Colts have a really, really strong chance of winning. Big pass. Went to the end zone. Incomplete, though. I don't know what the Colts are doing. They are in field goal position. They can win this game. Instead, they just gave the Steelers a possible chance and way more time than they would have been provided otherwise. Colts are basically within field goal range. Granted, I guess a touchdown would not solidify, but it would force the Pittsburgh Steelers into a bad position. Either way, incomplete pass once again. The clock stops. 57 seconds left. 35-yard line. That's still a long kick, though. I think it would have been smarter just to run the ball and get in better field position. Hey, but the Colts are doing what they're doing. I'm here. I'm a lame guy making videos. They're actually trying to win. So will they go for this, or will they actually go for the field goal? I'm actually kind of curious. Longest he's made is a 48-yarder. This is a 52-yarder, though. Let's see. Kick is good. The kick is good. Pittsburgh has 51 seconds. 51 seconds and 2 timeouts, remember. They already used one to get a field goal. That's the big thing here, too. All they need is a field goal. No touchdown, just a field goal. Colts kick it off. Pretty good kickoff from the Colts there. But decent return. Really decent return there from Dawson. I like Dawson. Pretty cool. 47 seconds remaining. This is going to be really interesting because I think we saw the offense and defense really pair up well against each other. I'm curious how the offense of the Steelers will pair against the defense of the Colts. But pretty good pass from Pittsburgh there, using a little bit of time. They don't have as much time as the Colts did, but they're making steady progress and choosing. Okay, they use a timeout there, 30 seconds. But that's pretty much all they're afforded to at this point because they need to use that last timeout once they're in field goal range. That's what they can afford to do right now. So maybe some good complete passes down the middle, but it's 2nd and 5. Maybe go for one more first down. Was that out of bounds? He caught it and he's in bounds. He caught it. He's in bounds. They're almost to the field goal range. They are. Oh, the booth is reviewing it. Let's take a look. The catch. 1. Oh, I didn't see that. Was that left leg down? Left leg was down. It is a complete pass. Oh, this is intense, guys. I'm excited from this. I'm excited. Come on, make the call. Play reversed. Oh, the Steelers just got screwed. What? Did he not, the pixel not go down? Oh no, the Steelers. That was like a perfect shot for them. But it's down the middle. It's down the middle. 23 seconds remaining. They're going to spike the ball. And they'll have 16 seconds remaining. They get one more first down. They have a shot at this. They have a chance at this. I believe we upgraded their kicker before, too. They are at the 45-yard line. They just get one more first down. They have solidified, or they're in really good field goal. I shouldn't say solidified anything. But it's a long pass down the field. Deflected, though. 11 seconds remaining. 11 seconds. They can maybe get 2 plays off. But then again, they're 3rd and 10, right? So they really only have 1 good play. Well, 2 plays. I guess they can do the 4th down. But they really have to get that one out of bounds. Yikes, it's 4th down. Pittsburgh is in a sticky situation here. They have to get the first down, but they don't have enough time to spike, so they have to get it out of bounds. Oh, this is going to be... They're going to chuck it down, aren't they? They're going to make a screen pass. No, they're not. Smart. Oh, but they didn't get to the first down marker. Indianapolis has the ball. 4 seconds remaining. The timeouts from Pittsburgh Steelers won't do anything, or the timeout from the Pittsburgh Steelers won't do anything. And Colts are going to kneel this out. Final score, 26-24. Pittsburgh is going to, at least make the effort to use a timeout. But 26-24, Indianapolis is your final score. The final player still of the game goes to Casey Hampton, joining the Indianapolis Colts, boosting up their defensive line alongside Daryl Gardner and Larry Triplett. And as well as that, the punter of the Indianapolis Colts went from an 86 to a 91, and the right tackle of the Colts went from a 87 to a 92. So nice little upgrades for Indianapolis Colts. And finally, guys, the moment we've been waiting for, the championship match. Now, if you didn't know already, once you make it to the championship, once there's only 2 teams left, once that 3rd team is gone after that match, it's over. Like, there's no more expansions. It's just straight up a fight. We combine all the territories into one. So Indianapolis took over all the blank territories on the right side. They're not claimed. He didn't get any upgrades from that. And the Seahawks, just because I had to give them a little bit, maybe make it a little bit more impressive, I just gave them all the connecting blank territories there. These did not benefit the teams anyway. It's just for aesthetic purposes. The Seattle Seahawks and the Indianapolis Colts are facing off in the championship match, of course, and we have to find out. So I'm eliminating the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Whoever this lands on is the attacking team, means that they're away team. So let's spin it here. Whoever this lands on, attacking team, which is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. So Seattle's going to take the fight to Indianapolis, which, honestly, I kind of forgot how good the Seattle team of this early 2000s was. I've kind of been shitting on them all video. And honestly, I know their roster's decently good, so maybe they got a shot against this stacked Colts team. As we see here, the Seahawks actually match up pretty well. Obviously, Colts still have the advantage, and especially the track record of eliminating a lot of teams, but Seattle's no pushover, and I think with this overall difference, they might be able to make this a close game. The strategy worked for the Patriots in Madden 2004. Can it also work for Seattle? Only one way to find out. All right, for this last game, I saw it was pretty close, pretty much through the 4th quarter, and Colts have the ball, so I was like, you know what, we're going to start recording a little bit earlier. Immediately a sack to Peyton Manning. Holy crap. The Seahawks defense is not playing any games here. Just to kind of give you some context of the Seattle Seahawks at this time, they have Matt Hasselbeck under center, Sean Alexander, and the old Jerry Rice. Holy crap, Peyton Manning once again gets sacked. Holy crap, Seattle's defense is destroying the offensive line of the Colts. And now, what are they, 3rd and like 22? What's 3rd and 15? Okay, well, not as nearly as far as I thought. It was intercepted, though. Peyton Manning threw an interception, leaving Seattle around the 45-yard line. This game could be over before it's even started. Well, I guess it's already started for like 3 quarters. But Seattle has been giving it to the Colts. Colts haven't been able to finish any drives, and Seattle's been running this ball, Sean Alexander, so deep down Colts' throats. Delete. But, man, the Seattle offense here, they're pretty much almost in field goal range as well. So all they got to do is really punch a hole, get another field goal, and the Colts really have to come back from that. The Colts really have to play some catch-up if they want to stay in this game, especially if Seattle is able to kick a field goal here. 3rd down, 3rd and 7, so they have to get a significant thing. But they don't get the first down. They stay about 37 yards. So this might just be too far away, 54-yarder, I believe. So let's see. We'll get the actual measurements. Are they going to go for the kick? 51 yards. Okay, so it's easily doable. In this game, 51 yards is pretty easy for them. Let's see, though, just to make sure. Kick is good. So now it is a 2-possession game for the Indianapolis Colts. So they have to get this drive done, and then they have to stop Seattle, probably using their 3 timeouts, and then be able to at least kick a field goal before this game is over. That's kind of crazy. Indianapolis, you have a great offense, so you should be able to do it pretty well. That was a pretty dang good return, too. At least it looked like a good return. I don't know exactly where it ended up being at. Okay, that's a pretty good return. 32, 33. I haven't seen a kick return touchdown, I don't think, yet. At least not simulated. All right, Colts. Let's see what you got. Peyton Manning, we'll see if you don't get sacked twice in a row right there. All right, drops back. Gets a completed pass, but they gotta hurry up. They can't just be chilling on the sidelines too much. They can't be like, huddling in and all that. They gotta actually make some good old pace. 32 seconds, 3 minutes pretty much left. Peyton Manning going for something big. Does get swatted away, though. Luckily, incomplete passes will, obviously stop the clock. So that's in the Colts' favor to go ahead and get some down-the-field passes. The 3rd down conversion rate has not been pretty good, though. 1 for 8. I haven't been able to finish many drives, and the Seahawks, Seahawks possession time has been killing them. And it looks like with this, the Colts really have to convert this. They can't afford to punt this ball, turn over this ball. They really, really can't. Because Seattle will eat that time up like nothing else. Holy crap, good run from Edgerrin James. There we go. If only they used him more before this game, like in the beginning of this game, this may be a different story here. But they can also afford to take a field goal here. This is honestly, they have to leave the last drive to basically get a touchdown. But they are allowed, not allowed, but they are, it's possible for them to take a field goal and still stay in this game. 2 minutes, 30 seconds, though. They need to do something before this 2-minute warning's done. They need to, and running the ball will not help that. So they do need to get those passes. 3rd and inches, very least, maybe make a completion for 3rd down, and then go for the 4th down. I mean, they are not in field goal range just yet, so they have to do something there. Pretty good, though. They're now in the red zone. They are now in the red zone, but they have to do something quick. Get to that 2-minute warning. Use the 2-minute warning to your advantage against Seattle. Come on, let's snap this ball. Let's snap this ball, go for the end zone. Snap this ball, go for the end zone. There we go. Come on. There we go. Oh, so close. 2-minute warning. Okay, it's not the end of the world, though. All they got to do, they're at the 1-yard line. Punch it in. I'm always rooting for the underdog, by the way. I'm always rooting for the guy to score points because I always want a good game, by the way. I'm not rooting for a team over another one, especially when the Broncos are involved. But he throws an interception at the goal line. Oh, painful. Oh, Seattle. Seattle just took that game away from the Colts there. Man, that reminds me so much of Seattle's blunder against the Patriots. This game is virtually over, guys. Seattle just pulled the Patriots from Madden 2004 and just stole this game away. Had all these other teams do all the hard work and just stole this game away. And, this made me think. I was like, man, Seattle didn't make a single appearance. And this is what the future rounds are for. The games are just meant to be the journey. The games are meant to be the cornerstone pieces here. It's unfortunate that, a game like this does not reward the good team like the Colts. They still technically have a shot, but they really don't. Because they have no timeouts. So Seattle, 1 possession will easily destroy them. Unfortunately, it's just, I guess sometimes how it works out with a couple of these really good teams just getting it, coming away with it. I guess Seattle and Patriots were already good enough in their respective games that they were able to just kind of wait to the end anyway and, not do anything with it. And they, I guess Patriots less so, but Seahawks were kind of isolated. So it's unfortunate how imperialism works out sometimes, but I think in newer games it's less of a factor. I feel like newer games are much more geared to better teams. I'm not too sure how these early games really factor in better teams. Then again, it just shows how, good these consistent teams were. Again, I'm not too sure about playbooks and all that, but it's also cool to see the expansion of all these older games and see how exactly this changes. And that's a fun part of the series, I think, is seeing how these matchups kind of change. Indianapolis may still be able to get some points on the board, but I mean their chances to actually win this game are pretty much over unless they make a touchdown and kick an onside kick recovery successfully. We'll see here. They still got a shot. There's no doubt about that, but I'm not too sure how likely that is. Then again, I will say these early games do, like, it seems like there's a big gap in between of, like, early games you can recover onside kicks pretty well, and older games or newer games, or the newest game I should say, Madden 24, you can recover an onside kick easier, but there's like this big in the middle ground where they really can't recover them very well. This is smart though. They're taking the points. They're not going to risk it. So at the very least, they're going to have enough to make a drive for a touchdown here. So they're going to go for the onside kick here. I imagine at least. If not, then I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what the AI be doing. But it is very possible they could recover this. I think Seattle recovered it. And it's going to be a kneel out for Matt Hasselbeck out there. Let's see, just confirm. Yep, Seahawks did recover the ball, meaning this final score of NFL Madden 2005 Imperialism is 19-12. Welcome your champs, the Seattle Seahawks. And just like that, Seattle has claimed the entire United States. It went from that little corner in Washington to claiming a couple other, states from the final battle, and then immediately just upset the Indianapolis Colts after their rampage. The Colts and Steelers were dominating throughout this whole imperialism, but it turns out in the end, the only thing that matters is that last game. Guys, that's really awesome. At least we have a new champion, Seattle, and it's the first NFC champion because we had Chargers, Patriots, and now Seattle claiming the throne. But you know what time it is? It's time to get to the stats. For all of you that don't know, now that we're in the stats portion of everything, I keep an Excel sheet with a bunch of information from each of these rounds, and this is the cumulative. So if you go see, this is my round 1 charts, and I kind of just showcase and log all the information. I go and chart all the first place finishes and all that, all the wins and losses, all this. I basically keep track of it all right here. Now I compile it with some formulas here from all the previous rounds, sum them up or average them, and I get all of these tracked cumulatively throughout the whole shebang. And I even keep track of states and when who claimed them and what round they get claimed. I don't include those typically just because it's like a whole nother deal besides teams. I may recap those one day, but like I'm not too interested in showcasing this information. It's not too fascinating just yet. You can kind of watch the video and get an idea for that. But also keep a scoregami because I love scoregami. I think it's so cool. So here's kind of like a current state of it all. If it has a purple asterisk, it means it has more than one. And the one showcase is the actual first one it happened in. So game A3-1 means it's A equals round 1, 3 equals the game. And Madden 2005 would be the game because it's a third game that I do. And -1 just means the quantity. So, yep, there you go. That's kind of the current scoregami. I can go in more depth one day with it, but I think right now it's an appropriate distance here where we kind of just go with it. But anyway, into the recap of both this Madden 2005 Imperialism stats and the cumulative stats. Hey everybody, obviously for this portion I don't keep my face cam on just because there's a lot of information I want y'all to be able to see, so I'm just going to try to be as characteristically profound with my voice. So as you see, map on the left is the before, and of course the right is the after of the results. By the way, yes, it kind of bothers me too that the Seahawks logo is a little bit to the right. I feel like it should be a little bit more to the left, but it's okay. Sorry for any of those who didn't really care until I brought it up. Beside the point, here's the leaderboard just to show you the order everybody got eliminated, and this time I have now included the win, loss, and expansion. So for example, the Jaguars are 32nd and they got 0 wins, 1 loss, 0 expansions. I'll keep this as a running tally throughout the whole time for each Imperialism, just for y'all to get an idea of like who did well but got eliminated early and stuff like that. So Jaguars, Browns, Lions, Cardinals, Ravens, Patriots, Panthers, Broncos. Panthers were the first one to get an expansion of the losing teams here. Then you got Falcons with the first win of the losers here. Eagles, Titans, Bengals, Bills, Texans, Dolphins, and Chargers. That's your bottom 16, and then top is your Sweet 16 with Giants 1-1-0, Bears 0-1-1. I'm not going to say that for every one of them, but you can read Cowboys, Packers, Vikings, Redskins. Top 10 is now Rams at 2-1, Raiders at 1-1, 49ers at 0-1-1, Saints at 0-1-3, Chiefs 5-1-1, Jets 0-1-1, Buccaneers 2-1-0, Steelers 6-1-1, Colts 6-1-1, and of course Seahawks 1-0. I read off there's a lot of important ones like Chiefs, Steelers, and Colts. We've never had that many, really big juggernauts of a single imperialism before. So it's really cool that we had 3 going against each other and eventually kind of culminated to the Colts being the one. And then either way, they got taken out by the Seahawks, which is just fascinating. Either way, Seahawks are your eventual winner. Colts get the silver medal and Steelers get the bronze. So there you go. In terms of, this is the... since I didn't include these in previous Maddens or Madden videos, I'm just going to go ahead and include these here just for y'all to have the information of what those win totals were. I included the placement before, but I didn't include the win totals and loss totals and all that. So this is just for y'all, that if y'all wanted to see from the previous Maddens, there you go. This is not going to be a running tally. I'm not going to keep these on every video. This is just for the sake of, I didn't show them before, so I'll show them now. Madden 2004 now. Yeah, there you go. And then there you go, top 16 there. Patriots, if you didn't know, also did the thing the Seahawks just did, so that's kind of interesting. Either way, let's get to the actual score. Oh, I did not change that from the 105. That's not supposed to be 105. That is supposed to be 74. I did not change that from the previous video. That's okay. I'll change that for myself afterwards, but either way. Banger of a game, highest scoring game is 74, with the Steelers beating the Redskins. I keep the current logos just for the sake of my editing purposes, but Steelers at the Redskins turned out to be 53-21. 74 is the banger of a game for this video. Congratulations, Steelers and Commanders. Well, Redskins, whatever. You get it. Snooze Fest, the lowest scoring game, actually goes to 2 games, both divisional games, actually, funny enough. The Broncos at the Chiefs and the Packers at the Vikings. Broncos at the Chiefs turned out to be 6-13, while Packers turned out to be 3-16. Could probably give the Snooze Fest more to the Packers game since it technically had a lower scoring loser, but either way, they both deserve it. 19 points total for the lowest scoring game for this Imperialism. Next up, Cameron Shy, last appearance in this Imperialism was, of course, our eventual winner, the Seattle Seahawks at round 31. Star of the show, the most appearances in the Imperialism was the Indianapolis Colts and the Pittsburgh Steelers at 8. The most eliminations came from both the Colts and the Steelers with 6. The big-time player, the highest average points for per game, so this basically means who scored the most points in a game, actually goes to the Steelers and the Redskins. Had multiple games, and it turned out to be the average of 33, so congratulations to them. Funny enough, again, they eventually went to be the banger of a game video, so, I mean, good for them. Down bad, lowest average points for per game, Bengals. They only had 1 loss, and it was a big shutout, so they deserved a big womp down bad perk. Defensive struggle, the highest average points against per game. So this is basically, they had the most points scored on them on average, and that was the Eagles, the Jets, and the Ravens, all with 37 points. So their defenses really did them very poorly in this Imperialism. And I thought about having a lowest game count, but that only really applies to a few teams. I want to highlight some of the teams that did really poorly. Defensive might, the lowest average points against per game, 11.5 with the Kansas City Chiefs. Interestingly enough, they weren't one of the big winners. I forgot exactly what play placed, but they fought in like 6 games, 5 or 6 games, probably 5 games, I guess. Or no, 6 games, I think. And they ended up with their defense being so dominant throughout most of the time. It's kind of interesting. And I can't remember if they were the ones that actually put out the Bengals. I don't think they were. So it's really, really impressive for the Chiefs to have 11.5 through like 6 games. So good for them. Defensive might especially goes to you today. Hometown hero, the most home games, the Colts got attacked the most, so, you know, they're the hometown hero. A traveling nomad, the most away games goes to the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Kansas City Chiefs. They were traveling all over the place. The Silent Conqueror, or the most expansions, is also a new reward. I went ahead and said, all right, you know what, I'm going to keep a running tally of the most expansions anyway. So this is just conquering non-claimed states. So the Silent Conqueror goes to both the Cowboys, the Saints, and the Vikings, all with 3. And if you're wondering why the Saints have a 2 over here, it's because I'm going to catch everybody up with the current other rewards. So in Madden 2003, it would have been the Cardinals, the Seahawks, and the Titans with also 3. And in Madden 2004, it would have been Broncos, Packers, Saints, and Saints would have claimed their first award here. So that's why, if you go back, they are getting their second one. So these blue numbers will always indicate how many of this award they have received in the past. Either way, boom, boom, boom. No claim here. I just like recapping the states that weren't claimed: Connecticut, Delaware, Idaho, Maine, Montana, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Utah, West Virginia. Then you have the home versus away stats. So home team was 16-15, away was 15-16. Much better than the last Madden. Of course, home actually had a slight advantage here, though I'm sure it's just law of averages. Either way, home wins this one. Divisional breakdown. Here's like the average placement in the amount of wins and expansions each team got. The AFC North, 20.75. They were easily the worst at 6 wins, though, surprisingly, and 1 expansion. Mostly probably carried by the Pittsburgh Steelers. Even though they had a really good placement, everybody else did really, really shit. So take that as you will. Similar to the Colts here, who also had a really good placement, but all 3 of their other teams sucked. 18.75, 7 wins, 2 expansions. Again, carried by the Colts here. Then you got the NFC North at 17.5, the placement, 1 win, 4 expansions. And I think that 1 win was a divisional matchup, so they couldn't lose, funny enough. But someone who could lose are the Jets, the Bills, the Patriots, and the Dolphins, all with 0 wins, only 1 expansion. And I believe that came from the Jets, from what I remember, 17.5. I gave the tiebreaker to the I thought about giving it to the NFC North just for having a win, but I gave it to the AFC East purely based on the Jets made it further, or somebody made it further in this Imperialism. I can't remember. I think the Jets were the highest placing team of these 2 divisions, so I just gave it to them. Going to the 4th place, of course, the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and Redskins had the 16th placement on average. Well, 5 wins, 3 expansions. NFC South from the Falcons, Panthers, Saints, and Bucks all had 15.25 average placement with 3 wins, 4 expansions. Mostly probably because of their dirtling, but who cares? AFC West actually pretty good for them, considering I think the Chiefs were like barely top 10. All their teams just kind of got eliminated somewhere in the middle, pretty much. So 14.25 average placement with 6 wins, 1 expansion, mostly carried by the Chiefs. And then finally, you got the 49ers, the Rams, the Cardinals, and the Seahawks with the NFC West with a 12 average placement with 3 wins, 1 expansion. I can't remember. I think Cardinals were one of the earliest teams eliminated, and these other 3 just lasted forever. So really helped out their little placement here. Either way, I thought this was cool to include. The conference breakdown is the AFC got 19 wins, the NFC gets 12 wins, but the NFC has more expansions at 12, while the AFC has 5. And now I've also included the average placement of the AFC NFC teams, and this basically, the lower the number, the better. So NFC did place a lot better in this Imperialism than the AFC team. So 15.19 means they place on average on the 15th scale, or 15th place, while AFC is more in the 18th category, 17.81. Now, since I didn't include these in previous Imperialisms, Madden 2003's breakdown of that was AFC 13.88 and NFC 19.19. So AFC won that battle pretty well, and so did they in Madden 2004 at 14.75 placement and 18.25 placement. If you want to see the other numbers, I didn't include them here just because those are kind of to those videos. You can see the wins and expansions in the previous videos of those stats breakdowns. Then we're going to go to the cumulative stats and awards. So this is basically all the Imperialism so far. This is the leaderboard. So I order them by their placement, and if there's a tiebreaker, it's broken up by who had the highest placement before. Then it'll go by how many wins they have. That's how I'll probably do it. So it's like a divisional breakdown type deal. Either way, of course, last place, the Jaguars at 0-3-0, not doing very, very well at all. They have not won a game yet. The Lions, 1-3-0, not much better, but at least they have a win. Then if you kind of go, Ravens at 30th, Browns at 29th, Panthers 28th, Bills 27th, 26th Vikings, 25th Bucks. You can read everything else. I'll point out some other cool things, like the Bills are have no wins, but they're at 27th, way above the Jaguars, just due to them dirtling around. You got the Cowboys, Eagles, Texans, Cardinals, Packers, Falcons, Rams, and Redskins. Nothing to really point out except the Cowboys, about the amount of expansions the Cowboys have, so that's pretty cool. And the Eagles, Cowboys, of course, are the first tie that we see here. Don't believe there's any other ties on this screen. Meanwhile, we'll go to the top 16. The Bears in 16th place. Wow, that's pretty high for the Bears, to be honest with you. The Saints at 15th with also 7 expansions is a notable feature. By the way, the Bears, I believe, are the highest ranking no-win team, so good for them. 0-3-1. They're really the big, the dirtlers of this whole thing. Anyway, Bears, Saints, Dolphins, Broncos, Giants, Raiders, Steelers, Seahawks. The Steelers are the lowest ranking, high win team, I'd say. I consider 5 or more right now high, at least for the average of the teams right now. Chiefs are in 8th at 6-3-3. Bengals 7th with 2-3-0. Jets Jets 2-3-3. Patriots 2-2-2 because they have that win. And I believe they are the lowest ranking winner, right? Wait, where's the Seahawks? Seahawks right here, 1-2-4. There you go. They're actually the lowest ranking winner. Sorry, 9th. While the Patriots are 11.33 at 2-2-2. Titans 10-3-5 with the most eliminations, tied with the Colts there. Then you got the Chargers 4-2-1. Then for second place, the 49ers 2-3-3, and then Colts whopping first place 10-3-1. Even though they're first place, actually, fun fact, even though the Colts and 49ers are first and second, they have also never won an Imperialism just yet. So interesting that they have the highest placement on average so far. Either way, this is also to catch you up. This is just from the previous Madden. So if I did a cumulative score for this, for the win-loss ratio, so if I kept those throughout the whole time, This would have been at the end of last video for the cumulative win-loss ratios. You can read them on screen. Not going to really highlight anything, but this would have been the leaderboard at that time. For the sake of covering my bases and showing y'all everything, I like being transparent, and so that's where I'm being transparent at. Finally, the actual awards for all of this is where the 105 came from. I probably just copied and pasted it, and I didn't change the number. So the banger of a game is still the highest scoring game of Titans at Falcons for Madden 2004 Round 1. Then, of course, the Madden 2005 Round 1 actually conquered the new award with Snooze Fest, lowest scoring game with the Broncos, Chiefs, Packers, Vikings, that whole deal. Then we have two of a tie for Camera Shy with Madden 2004 Round 1 with the Patriots and Madden 2005 Round 1 with the Seahawks, with Round 31 being the last appearance both these teams have made. The star of the show, the most appearances from a team so far are the Tennessee Titans still. So pretty whopping. I think the Colts are catching up with them pretty well, and Steelers are also up there, I believe. So Titans are really doing well. 18 appearances, so good for them. Most eliminations, though, goes to both the Colts and the Titans at 10 eliminations total. Again, you saw how many teams they eliminated. They're also some of the highest-ranking teams due to how well they actually get equipped as they win. So good for them, 10 eliminations total. The big-time play, the highest average points for per game. So this is through every game. So this is, the team that scores the most points per game. And 35.33 is the record currently with the Packers at 6 whopping games. In 6 games, they're able to score on average 35 points, which is really, really good. So good for the Packers here. Though they haven't really done too well in Imperialism historically. Down bad, the lowest average points for per game. Of course, Jaguars are the 32nd ranked team right now, and they only have 3 games, and they definitely don't score a whole lot of points. So 19.33 is the current record for that. Defensive struggles, the highest average points against per game. So this is the team that gets scored on the most. And again, Bills, who are also 0-3, also have only 3 games, but they also get a whopping 38 points scored on them on average. Defensive might, lowest average points against per game. This is really impressive. Through 9 games, the Chiefs only have 19 points on average scored on them. That's really, really good for Madden. So good for the Chiefs. That's really an impressive stat right now. The hometown hero, the most home games so far are the Colts and Titans at 8. You got the traveling nomad with most away games with 7 at the Dolphins right here. So this is, again, representing the teams that actually get attacked and actually do end up attacking. So Dolphins right now get spun on the most to attack, while the Colts and Titans get attacked the most, which actually makes sense with their central point, while the Dolphins are more of an edge player who have no point but to attack their first opponent. So interesting enough. And again, the cumulative award for the Silent Conqueror, the most expansions, are the Cowboys and Saints. The no claim here, the state's not claimed. Delaware and Maine, they have not been claimed, period. Makes sense because they're so far northeast that only really the Jets, Giants, and like the Bills maybe, if they win one of their games, can really claim those states. There we go. The home versus away stats cumulatively. The home team really took a big hit in Madden 2005. Madden 2004. So they are a little bit lower, so 42 and 51 for them, and the away team is 51 and 42. So away teams win more on average right now. In divisional breakdown through all of the games so far, the average placement through all of the divisions, and then the amount of wins and expansions they have. Weirdly enough, I don't know why I said weirdly enough, but I think it's kind of cool that all of them are within the teens range. So like none of them are below 12, but none of them are into the 20s yet. So that's kind of cool to me that it's kind of working on like the most average right now. 6 wins only goes to the NFC North and the AFC South. NFC North are placing the lowest so far. NFC South, though, had a pretty impressive showing, so they are kind of going up a little bit more, but they are still eclipsed by these other teams. An 18.67 for the Steelers, Bengals, all of them. The most expansions actually is placed by the NFC West. I was about to say NFC East, but both of them have a lot of expansions. I guess due to the amount of land that's around a lot of their teams, I guess they're able to get those expansions a lot more, so that's kind of cool. Either way, they end up at 5th. AFC South, 16.33, 21 wins and 6 expansions. Really carried by 2 of the juggernauts, the Colts and Titans, having the record for the most bloodlust. So good for them. They have the record by a good margin, like 4 points on the next up right here. They got next the Bills, Jets, Patriots, Dolphins at 14.67. NFC West, of course, 14 on placement. And the AFC West, just I guess due to the isolated nature of the Broncos, it helps them out a lot. And Chiefs are not necessarily the most easy to get place ever. And Chargers and Raiders are kind of in the corner, so I don't know if that really matters, but they can't be attacked as much. So I guess it helps them out with all their placements so far. But either way, that's their current placement on average. This is the cumulative update for the AFC. NFC, 58 wins for the AFC teams, while NFC have 35 wins, 20 expansions for the AFC teams, while 39 expansions for the NFC. And on average, the AFC teams place about 15.48, while the NFC teams place about 17.54. And this would have been the conference breakdown for the Madden 2003 to Madden 2004. At 14.32 for the AFC, 18.72 placement. So you see the NFC actually improved it a little bit with their good performance here in Madden 2005. And that is it, I'd say. I am going to bring up one more thing of the Silent Conqueror. I did not put the cumulative here, but it'll be up here in 3, 2, 1. And boom, look at that. The Silent Conqueror. So this would have been the record in between or after Madden 2004 for the cumulative Silent Conqueror award. Cardinals, Seahawks, Cowboys, Titans, and Saints would all have the most expansions at 4. Again, this is non-claim states. So that was just for the record of just making sure that we kept up with the what's it called? That was not supposed to be there because I forgot to actually I forgot to actually delete this. Either way, that should be the stats, I'd say, in my opinion. I'll go ahead and unphase myself there. That way I can kind of talk to you guys. And I want to thank you guys for all the support y'all have been giving these NFL Imperialisms. They're a lot of fun to make. They're a lot of work, but they're a lot of fun. I think these are my prize videos. A lot of the videos I try to do are, I try to make it quality enough, but I'm not a very great editor. I'm still learning, and this is one of my biggest passion projects I'm doing. And I think I really like statistics, and this is a really good way of me honing that craft still. So thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like down below. It takes a long time to make this video. StraightA Dawson, out.